All right, everyone. Welcome to the Hermes Cup. This is hosted by Jerds. He put in a lot of work and effort for you guys here tonight, so please give him some pogs in chat as a big thank you. Him and Twinkletoes put in a lot of effort to make this happen, and just to hopefully have a lot of fun. This is something that he does want to continue, and we all want to continue and just be a part of the community and just continue the love for Hades here. So we got a couple of races for you tonight. Starring only the best here. Let's see what they say. Let's see, chat, can you hear the Jerds yet? You got it. So we have two races. They cannot hear you yet, Jerds, I'm afraid. We have two separate races. The first race is going to be Vorime, the speedy, creamy dream versus Ellomenop. It is going to be a 3-weapon race, so it's going to be the first racer to finish all 3 weapons in a row with certain aspects as the winner. The race number 2, same format, is going to be by Wriste13 and Krashercorr. These are 2 great players, mostly known for their high heat runs, but they're dipping their little toesies in the speedrunning water here and see how they do with that. So you can see in the intro poster here, Vorime and Ello, they're each going to use the same aspects and same weapons. So they're going to start with the Hera bow. Second is going to be Nemesis sword. Third is going to be Zeus shield.
And I think I'm back on mic. Can I just get a confirmation from anybody? But yeah, there's a bit of method to the madness of why I selected, and that's a pre-selected set of weapons and aspects, right? So have we got voice, folks?
We got it, Jerds.
We got it.
Chad is giving you the pogs. You're good.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I guess I wanted to just make sure that the third weapon and aspect, that these very professional racers, they have a bit more of a challenging time, right? It takes a bit of skill to be able to pull off a Zeus shield, I would say. And maybe some Poseidon sword in the second race there might be a bit of a skillful thing. So it'll be one of these opportunities where the racers get to really show, I guess, their flexibility with the game, right? No one-trick ponies that can race here. 3 weapons, 3 different aspects, and they all intentionally behave very differently. So with that said, thanks for covering before that, Haelian. How are you? Are you excited?
I'm good, Jerds. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. What I'm interested to know is, and this is where you get to pick sides, what are your predictions for race 1? Vorime versus Ello. And this is where you make a friend and an enemy. It's like a trial of the gods, right? So
I know, right? Either way, I'm sleeping on that couch tonight, it sounds. So you got Vorime, who, as a little intro to Vorime, he is the holder of so many world records, especially on 90 Night Patch. He really made a big name for himself. He swept the leaderboards when it came to speed runs. 80%, he had a time of 3:59 as the world record. It was crazy, really. Ello was second place for the leaderboard on 80%, and these 2 guys are great friends, so it's going to be nice to see them pit against each other. Vorime seems to have a little bit more practice under his belt, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, you haven't asked me what my prediction is, so now I get to maintain friendship with both people. I know I get to stay unbiased, right, as the host. No, look, I really think it can go anyway. Big part of the format here, as you all know, is that we're running 3 races in a row, and hopefully that sort of stretches out the amount of RNG to make it somewhat fair for all the races, right? So it will come down to which chamber in Styx does that sack generate. All it takes is one person to get a 2 sack, one person to get a 5 sack, or something like that, and that can really make it hard for the opponent. So look, we'll see how it goes. If I had to choose, though, I've only actually seen more of Vorime than Ellomenop, so I have the confidence there. But I really want an upset. And look, I'm an Australian, and mate, I love an underdog victory. So let's see how it goes. All right. I just want to introduce the racers now. So hopefully they've been listening in, and as you can see, we have Vorime and Ellomenop Vorime in the top screen there. Gentlemen, how are you? Let's start with Vorime. Are you there and are you ready?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Good,
Hey,
how are
Jerds,
you?
hey, Haelian.
Yeah, good to see you.
Hey, Vorime.
Thanks for being here. And just tell us, what are your feelings at this point? How do you feel about this race?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous.
That's all right. I mean, I don't think there's only a few hundred people watching, right? So no big deal,
Yeah,
no matter what happens.
No sweat.
Did you put any practice in before the race? I know it was, only a little, half a week to sort of practice, but...
Yeah, we got a little bit of a heads up as to the aspects, a little bit ahead of time. So I did decent amount of practice on Zeus Shield. I have an interesting strategy that I'm hoping is going to push me over the edge here to start.
Secret strategy.
Is it the last weapon? It's the last weapon. So hopefully I can push through the finish.
It is the last. So we're starting off with Hera bow, and then we got Nemesis sword for the second, which it should be a fast run. If I was to predict out of the three, probably the fastest out of the three. What do you think?
Nemesis sword?
Yeah. How do you feel with that?
It's interesting. It's the speed of Nemesis sword often comes down to how early you get that double-edged hammer, or if you even get it at all, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to play a big factor into who wins the Nemesis sword heat.
Okay, and I wouldn't mind hearing what your overall strategy, because you can share it now, because whatever the strategy is, I know Ello's listening on the other side right now. He can hear it, but it's too late to change strategies because we're about to race, so you can reveal
That's
it
what
right
you
now.
think.
Yeah. he's keeping this tight-breasted here, Jerds. It's gonna be a surprise.
You'll see.
All right,
You'll see.
That's cool. Keep it a secret. Viewer surprise. That's beautiful. Ellomenop. Did I say it right? How do you say it?
Yeah, Ellomenop, like the alphabet.
That's good.
Hey, hello.
So
how's it going, guys?
Yeah, good. How are you? You feeling nervous? Or are you cool?
Yeah, I don't have the good luck of Haelian's favor on my side, so we'll have to see how it goes. But no, I'm definitely nervous too. Definitely feeling the race nerves now.
Yeah, no sweat. Look, the nerves will they'll start to melt as you get in there and get your fingers on Hades and start playing the game we're all so familiar with. What's going on, Haelian? What are you looking at sideways?
Oh, sorry. Twitch chat would like to point out there's a couple of cursors on the screen.
Oh, apologies. Oh, yeah, because I had my... Well, this is... See, I can pick your nose with my cursor here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's Grouse Aussie comedy for you right there.
Perfect.
Okay, so... I think we're pretty much good to go, folks. Any questions from chat before we get started in this for the races?
One quick question from chat from Kisuke, old friend of mine. He asked if this is going to be in real time or in-game time. This is real time, so the decision making is going to play a really big part in how fast these guys can play.
Exactly right. The timer will start as soon as they hit begin escape on the first pact for the first run, and they only achieve victory if they're first to finish their third run. So as soon as that Hades victory screen pops up on the third one, which will be when they finish with Zeus Shield, that's the finishing point there. As you can see, both Vorime and Ello are running live splits, so you'll be able to see the times on the right side of their screen there for each individual run, as well as they hit each biome within each run. Well, I guess we're good to go, right? So without too much further ado, let us begin. Mr. Haelian, sir, would you like to do the countdown?
Absolutely. All right, boys.
Good luck.
3, 2, 1, go.
So here we see there's a couple of seconds of stream delay between Vorime and Ello, but that's fine because the live split times will still be accurate for us.
That's the reason why we're using separate live splits right now.
Yeah.
In case there is some kind of stream delay, we just want to make sure that it's going to be fair. So right out of the gate, these boys, I made sure I set them up real nice with this seed. They got a common cast no matter what they chose from the mirror. So I just felt like that was really necessary right at the start of the run here. And a Chaos Gate in Chamber 1, which will save a little bit of time.
Yeah, look, that's a really cool cool way to start. You know, you always want to get that chaos if you're going for speed and power, right? So nice nice preparation of the save file there. Thank you, sir. Mr. Haelian set that one up for us. And I like the fact that they're starting off with the common boon, because it means, you know what, humble beginnings, and you really have to build your power and strength.
Absolutely. And we already see a little bit of divergence here. Vorime choosing Dionysus's keepsake for that beautiful trippy shot here, and Ello choosing the Zeus keepsake so that he can get the Zeus cast, which is very interesting.
Yeah, nice to see a change. So some folks, some viewers may not know how this this aspect of the bow behaves. When you apply an aspect to a weapon, it changes its behavior. And with this, you can preload with the Hera bow. You preload the casts. So cast is an ability you can do. You can load that into the bow, and then when you fire an attack, it shoots those casts, which means you can get some amazing burst damage. And it requires a lot of skill to sort of measure how many casts are you going to throw into what enemy, because you don't want to overcommit, right? Because that's going to slow you down.
Yep. So Ello just picked up a hammer. Unfortunately, there was not a whole lot of useful things in there. He ended up picking up Relentless Volley, which only buffs his special. So it looks like he's going to pretty much be ignoring that hammer. Yeah,
unlucky, but, you know, RNG goes that way. One day, if we're lucky, maybe we'll be able to re-roll hammers, but maybe that's too overpowered. So I understand why it's not like that right now.
It's definitely a common feedback that we see, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You know, folks, if you have ideas about the game or whatever that you want to feedback, by all means, pop onto the Supergiant Discord. They're very receptive to listening to everybody's feedback. I think that's one of the reasons why Hades is so good today. And we're not even version 1.0 yet, right? We're not even full version. So, Ello there picking up the ability to apply Jolted, which is great, right? So that's gonna be
a great pickup for him.
Yeah. Look, not only does it do good damage, it's eating a lot of damage there, and then throwing down.
One interesting thing here, and we could get some fun predictions here, is both runners chose to use high confidence from the mirror, which means they're foregoing the plus 50 extra health for the occasional damage bonus. That means these runs are going to be extra spicy, extra dangerous. I would love to see some predictions from chat if and when we may see a death at all tonight.
Yeah, you know what? You can go a little bit hard. We're only running on Heat 2, so the racers here, they had a chance to choose whatever heat they want. But why would you make it too much harder for yourself? You will notice, though, these racers are using 2 heat. And the reason for that is it applies, they've applied tight deadline as a packed option. So you can see on the bottom left there, they've got that timer there clicking down. Because they're so fast, though, they'll meet it, right? They'll never have a problem with the tight deadline. But what tight deadline does is it means a Hades survival room won't spawn. And if you've seen one of those rooms before, they go for 45 seconds plus. So it can be, you know, if you're racing in real time, that's a real time sink. So good to avoid that.
Ooh, all right. So both players actually were able to pick up an extra Chaos Gate, and Ello was able to grab a Fountain Chamber here. Might be able to pull himself ahead a little bit. Interestingly, Vorime has picked a special boon from Demeter, so he's actually kind of diversifying. Ooh, Vorime also grabbing a Fountain Room here. They're really maintaining a similar lead. One slight advantage that Ello might have here is that he was able to grab an extra cast from Chaos, so he now has 4 total casts. But both players looking very even. Ello entering the final shop as Vorime enters the boss fight here, so very close, very close.
Yeah, very nice. Picking up quick reload is going to be a very strong improvement for Ello here too, going into the fight against against Symphony. So 4 casts and the fact that they pop out of the enemies even quicker than normal, that's a lot of power for a Hera build. Looking good for Ello right now.
Looking very good. Both of them are very dead even right about now. Vorime earlier picked up Hydraulic Might, and Merchant of Blood would like to point out that to Vorime one more time, and possibly to me because I've made the same mistake. Hydraulic Might actually only boosts your attack and special damage. It is not going to boost the damage of the cast that he throws.
Yeah, that's right. So only really helpful for that shot to apply the cast, but really the majority with this build of the damage you're doing is from the casts. So not a big deal. Okay, so we have both folks entering the mid-biome connector now. Very, very close race.
It is dead even, really. Just Keep in mind, Ello seems to be about 5 seconds behind just because of a slight stream delay here. So it is a very tight race already. It is kind of shocking just how similar both runs have been already in terms of the rooms that they got.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's very much too early to say what's going to happen at this point. 3 races and we're just not even halfway through the first race. So it's a bit of a test of endurance for these folks too. I guess both of these guys, I mean, typically when you play Hades, you'll do a victory. Maybe you'll have a bit of a breather between races. But 3 in a row where you're at full mental capacity, right? You're all in. It's going to be a test of endurance for these guys. So we'll see. Are they going to hold up? Are they going to slow down later in the race? What's going to happen?
It's definitely going to be a trial. I'm very familiar myself with these long runs like this too, and it definitely takes a toll on you. You start to play a little bit sloppy. Not to mention, just the high amount of viewership these guys are going to have right now. Ooh, wow. Great pickup from Ello right there. Greater recall from Hermes already. Interesting indeed.
Yeah, that's huge, right? Greater recall. Ello's also got the quicker cast dropping out of enemies happening, plus the extra cast. You want to get all the cast things, and he sounds like he's getting them. So good for him.
Ello's definitely got all the great pieces of a cast build here. He's just definitely got the luck on his side. He was even able to grab Eurydice, I think that was a moment ago. One thing that was bogging him down a little bit, he had to take a Chaos Curse that reduced his dash distance, which can be pretty painful, really, in a real-time race like this.
Yeah, that's right. Dash distances, especially coming into this biome where you've got big, large distances to cover. That's really the fastest way to move, and that being reduced by half or whatever. I mean, speed is everything, obviously. Vorime
grabbing this fountain room here. Amazing. Meanwhile, Ello gets stuck on the barge of slowness, unfortunately, below. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time right there. The barge of death is the slowest of the 3 mini bosses in Asphodel. The new witch fight is actually sort of in the middle of the pact.
Yeah, and you can do a witch fight very quick if you've got deflect.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed.
To make it look really easy.
Yeah. It's a cool fight. I'm glad that they've added these new mini-boss encounters. I wouldn't be surprised if, version 1.0 we end up seeing a new mini-boss encounter again. Well, that's my personal hope, I love as much flavor as
mine
possible.
too. Yeah, I'd love to see something else in Elysium. I think it's... I think it could be very possible. It's probably on their list, their secret list. I think it was a big surprise when they added the ones that they did for Blood Price here, but
oh man, I don't think anyone...
definitely a welcome addition.
Yeah, that secret boss. I don't know if we should spoil it for everyone. Some people might not have seen it, but very, very cool.
Jerds, I don't know about you, but I'm personally praying that we get to spot that secret mini boss tonight by one of these boys, maybe the one that wants to flex a little bit harder.
Well, I guess you'd have to have a pretty big lead if you were going to optionally go into a fight that can take 3 minutes. But there is a reward, you get a bunch of gold out of it essentially, and you save a bunch of gold for the trip. I'll tell you what, it's a big flex move. I'd love to see it as well.
All right, so Ello is entering the final shop here, and meanwhile Vorime has already been battling the Hydra for about 30 seconds here, so it looks like Vorime has pulled a bit into the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Just fair warning for folks that haven't played much of the game before. These guys are going to play to the victory screen, meaning they're going to finish the game. You'll see all the bosses and all the content along the way. So there's going to be spoilers. Just be aware of that. Having said that, you should definitely get the game anyway and play it for yourself if you haven't got it yet.
It's interesting to see Varime's strategy here because he is making use of that special that he picked up from Demeter. He did get an epic boon from her, so looks like he's able to make use of some of that damage. Borderline, he might even be choosing to simply ignore the cast mechanic in some way here on Hera Bow, which is definitely a move, not one I would have foreseen, honestly.
Yeah, true. And we're probably within we're still quite close here, I would say. We've got Ello just finishing up with learning now, but really it's anyone's race at this point. I think anyone could finish.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, this victory could go to anyone just yet.
Oftentimes in these speedruns, Asphodel is the shortest biome, whereas Elysium is usually the longest. Styx can cause a problem if you just get those bad sacks, unfortunately, but let's just pray that that doesn't happen to these poor guys.
Yeah, that's right. Ello coming into the third of 4 biomes now, only on 2 Death Defiances, so he did lose one along the way. But
just a few gold short of buying one there, but yeah. I don't think I'm too worried about Ello here.
Yeah, look, these guys are skilled players, a lot of confidence. Health is a resource in a lot of games, right? So, I mean, it's okay just to take some hits, and if that means you're going to be a few seconds faster here and there, as long as you don't die, right? Because if these folks, you know, they do die and they don't get that to that victory screen, they're going to have to do that whole run again with that weapon until they achieve it.
The run of shame.
Oh, that would be shameful, but let's not put any pressure on anyone right now.
This is a difficult thing, you know. You're racing against a very skilled person, both of these guys, and you got an audience that you need to please. So it's tough. It's definitely not easy.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not surprised if some nerves do show, but I have to say I haven't seen any sort of drastic mistakes, which is, you know, the typical sign of nerves, right? People making a rush decision and whatever else can lead to silly things. Sometimes you see little signs like people running around in a quick circle before entering a door or something like that. Moments of indecision. But I haven't seen any of those signs yet from these very mature, experienced speedrunners.
Nope, I don't see any sign yet myself either. They're both doing an excellent job so far. No issues there. I think one thing to point out for Vorime, and perhaps the reason why he's not utilizing Hera the intended way, is that he was able to pick up the twins shot as his first hammer there. So he's able to get some decent damage, although he hasn't gotten an attack boon yet, so it might not actually be proving too useful quite yet.
Yeah, look, it's not a bad move. I mean, Hades really is a game of you got to take advantage of what you've got, right? We got both players entering the Bull of Minos fight, the mini boss fight here now, and it looks pretty even at this point. I have to say, I do enjoy seeing that chill effect. I think that just lets you, besides the fact that you get a lot of base damage with the Demeter boons, I feel like it allows you to get away with a lot in terms of being aggressive. So I'm liking what that's doing for Vorime.
Interestingly, Ello has picked up the same boon from Demeter. He also got an epic special boon from Demeter, and it looks like he is also making use of that the best that he can. That's right. I guess when you have those casts stuck in your enemies, you really just got to find something else to spend your time doing while you wait for them to drop.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, nothing wrong with picking up those nectars as a boon. You know, if you pick up a nectar, that can actually just give you a level up at the same time. So that's a good move. A little bit of power, really. Absolutely.
It's often one of the best choices that you can make. One key thing here is that the runners are both running Fated Persuasion, which allows you to reroll your boons and your wells, like you see Vorime doing here right now. Probably mostly checking for Light of Ixion to try to get a Chaos Gate. So you'll probably won't see them re-rolling any doors, but mostly just boons and wells.
Yeah, true. I was surprised not to see Vorime, who picked up the Hermes boon before and decided to go with just the common dodge chance. Would have thought maybe, you know, a re-roll for some sort of a cast boon might have been a move there, but that's okay. So a Kiss of Styx has been purchased there by Ellomenop.
Yep. I had to make a face when I saw that one show up in the shop there, because Ello had just lost another Death Defiance, and he was able to grab one back from that well, thank God.
And, oh man, I'll tell you what, he's probably feeling it coming into this room with all these flame wheel chariots running around. Nobody likes these flame wheel chariots. And that's the reason why Hades put in that there is an item in the shop that rarely can pop up where you can remove them from this biome. So I got to say, that really says something about those enemy types.
Hey, I mean, Supergiant listened to our feedback, right? We want fewer flame wheels. They gave us that ability finally. So yeah. I don't think there's any more complaining that we can do. But I laughed pretty hard when I first saw that.
Yeah, I laughed as well. So yeah, look, I don't know. Like, Ello has lost 2 DDs so far. Maybe that is a sign of a little bit of nervousness, you know, going a little bit all in. Or he's just pushing as hard as he can. Look, either way, you don't really want to be spending that money on the Kiss of Styx to replenish the Death Defiance. You want to be spending that on another boon or a pom or something like that. So, so it all kind of balances out in a way, I guess.
I wonder if we could possibly see either of these players switching their mirror on the next run so that they could have that extra 50 health instead of high confidence, which we can probably safely say at this moment is dealing 0 damage for both players.
Yep, absolutely. Look, players, they're more than welcome to change their mirror options or pact options in between runs. That's fine. It's their prerogative. So nothing wrong with doing a cool tech like that, especially if you're swapping in and out between cast-based stuff, right? I think we might even see it in race 2 where the final race is going to be sorted with Poseidon, which is an aspect that really lets you make some sort of a cast setup. And the mirror has a few options there for you for modifying how cast behaves. So nothing wrong with changing the mirror.
I really love that they were able to surprise all the players in the 90-night update with that full inverse mirror. That's something I personally did not see coming, basically doubling the amount of options that we have and literally doubling the amount of options we have in that mirror. So I thought that was an amazing addition.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, that blew my mind when I saw that because, it just provides so much more flexibility to how you choose to play. And that's what roguelites are all about.
Vorime absolutely destroying those heroes. We couldn't even catch up to Vorime already. He has already finished those heroes. One quick thing I noticed from Ello there was he's able to pick up a 3rd Death Defiance yet again. The luck is with him in recovering some of this health.
Yeah, absolutely. Choosing just to pick up a dash there, I guess that will help with applying privilege status. You get those 2 curse effects on to get a damage increase, so that's not a bad move. Let's see how he goes against the heroes here. Opening up with the Meg for big AoE damage. Both hit, which is what you want to do.
Yep.
Looking good. Keeping those 2 enemies there together to get hit by all of this AoE. He's dropping down. That's the move, right? You want to be doubling your damage if you can.
Absolutely. So what tends to happen here is that the Minotaur will follow Zagreus around, whereas Theseus will tend to stay away at a distance. So in an ideal speedrun situation, you'd simply stick up right against Theseus and let the Minotaur come to you.
Exactly right. So it looks like I'm not seeing privileged status here for Ello, meaning that double curse not giving him the potential 40% increased damage. Which means he's probably running family favorite. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Haelian. Meaning that he just gets a flat damage increase across the board for every different type of god he has a boon for.
Well, he definitely has at least 5 different gods right now, which is going to equal 25% damage. So it's not too far beyond that, but it looks like Vorime is also running the same thing. And if we look at Varime's screen now, it looks like he got pitted up against the tiniest of vermin here. A little bit of bad luck here. The absolute slowest mini-boss that you could get.
Yeah, just purely by nature that it disappears every now and then and has such a large hit point box, right? So anyway, he's passed through and he's still ahead even with that mini-boss. Going into the 2nd tunnel now for Vorime. So the sack that allows him to access the final boss can appear at any moment from now on. So
Vorime could get it this one. He could get it in 3 more chambers from now.
Yeah, who knows?
Time will only tell.
This is the RNG element of the run, unfortunately. But maybe in the future we'll look at a way at somehow stabilizing that with a mod or something.
It's a good conversation piece, huh? So do we want to stabilize it? Do we want to leave it in? So it looks like Vorime unfortunately did not get the sack upon the 2nd chamber, so he will have to do a 3rd.
That's right. And we've got Ello here finishing off the final room in his first tunnel there, picking up the Zeus boon. And, geez, you'd go for the aid there, surely. Yeah. It just outputs so much damage. Good choice there on the aid. Yeah. Allowing him to output a lot of damage, but will have to be point blank. And just noting he's only on the 2 Death Defiances there with only 150 hit points. So these guys are racers and are used to, not selecting the centaur hearts to increase their life. And you know what? All in, all damage, baby. Let's go.
Vorime has leveled up his cast several times. I think he has a level 8 cast at the least here. So his cast is dealing some big damage. It's just too bad he started off with a common. My apologies to you, Vorime, for giving you that seed.
No, I think that's a good move because you really get to see the power increase over the course of the race by looking at those numbers too.
A big turn of events here with Vorime getting stuck on a 3rd chamber that he has to finish. Meanwhile, Ello is able to grab the sack and head right into the Hades fight. Yep. Oh, the turnaround has already happened.
Yep, that's huge. So the final fight is going to begin for the first race out of 3 here for Ello. Vrime's, yeah, look, it's just unfortunate RNG. There's not much you can do. I guess maybe Virime's secretly hoping Ello will suicide on Hades, but what are the odds? Might happen.
Well, like you said, Jerds, this is why we do 3 weapons in a row. Let's face the facts. The SAC RNG is just too big of an element here to only do a single run between these guys. Plus, we know they can handle 3 weapons in a row, no problem.
Yep. So a bit of an upset move here by Mr. RNGesus. So be it. Just watching this Hades damage now, it's reasonable from Ellomenop. I'm not seeing huge chunkage happen just yet. It'd be interesting to see what Vorime does in terms of killing Hades, because he's about to enter that boss fight now. He's picked up that sack.
So Vorime was able to grab the sack on the 4th path. Meanwhile, Ello was grabbed it on the 2nd path. So that's why such a wide swing here. We actually have a question from someone in chat. From Throbbing Pink Nips of Than, he asks, what would be the bigger flex, the Charon fight or grabbing a fish?
Oh, that's a good call. It's definitely the Charon fight, just because it takes so long, right? But you know what? Why not both? Grab a fish, grab a Charon sack.
Fish in the Charon fight is the only way, I think.
Oh, wouldn't that be the ultimate place to go fishing? I wonder what loot you could get. That'd be cool. That's it. Good ideas for the game.
Here we go.
All right, so we got Ello entering phase 2 here with against Hades, whereas Vorime already halfway through phase 1. So that's what I meant by the damage differential maybe showing through here.
It looks like Vorime was able to grab the slightly spicier build so that he could deal a few more damage points. And so hopefully Vorime can catch up a little bit of time from that poor sack RNG that he got earlier.
Yeah.
Ello down to 1 Death Defiance here, but he's got Hades down to half of his 2nd phase, so it looks like he should have no problem cleaning him up here.
Yeah, should be able to do it. Eating in the big swing there now in his final life. 79 health remaining. Look, let's hope there's no mistakes here. I'm sure he's feeling a little bit nervous. You want to go in with that Zeus attack? Zeus aid, sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely just play it safe here. That's what you want to do. You know, you don't want to gamble too hard. All right, and Ello finishing up. He had a time of 22:51 real time right there at the finish with Hera bow.
Yeah, nice work. All right, and then I guess let's just see Vorime finishing off Hades now in comparison.
Vorime not too far behind here, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Because he's already on 2nd phase finishing it up. So definitely a difference in damage.
Ooh, we saw some big chunks. Wow, look at that. I saw a hit for 1824 from that single loaded Hera attack there. So Vorime was able to finish it with a time of, I think it's 23:39, it says there. So not far behind at all.
Yeah, nice. Very good moves. I did notice there was a few times there when Ello was... there was some I guess, I don't know how to put this. There's some delays between when he was throwing out those casts, so maybe that was part of the damage differential. Because I do remember he did have a really good start with his with all those boons boosting up his cast. So I was expecting bigger damage from Ello. Turned out it was from Vorime. So
yeah, I guess that just goes to show the power of Trippy Shot, and I think it's safe to say that the lead developer of Hades, Amir, does believe in Trippy Shot.
Oh, I don't mind Trippy Shot. I think it's quite cool. Just like being able to clear mobs because it does such a big puff of smoke for that AoE. I think it's a pretty strong move. So here we are going into race number 2, and the races are going to be using sword with Nemesis aspect. That one increasing your crit chance after you do a special for 3 seconds. So good combination play available here. It means you probably want to be putting in power into your special and into your attack. And we've got Ello here entering Chaos Room. Oh, actually, so is Vorime.
Yeah, they're both are very equal already. They actually have both chosen the same strategy where they grab Artemis's keepsake, and they were both able to grab Artemis's attack boon at the start there. So it looks like they are pretty much similar builds. I believe Vorime might have a rare attack, whereas Ello might only have common. That shouldn't be a big deal. Ooh, Ello going for a big play here. He's down to 1 health, leaving that chaos, and he has 19 max health. He's really gambling it all right at the start here.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, that's what they call the balls of steel play, and I respect it. Look, if you're in and you're all in, you're here to win, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Just don't get hit. And the thing is, we
Ello
saw a
is
lot
not
of
cutting him
hits.
any breaks.
Yeah, look, it's going to be completely opposite from what happened last time. Picking up the double Nova there is going to be a good move since you have to weave in those specials as part of this gameplay. Now he's doing double damage on those specials. Big
it's
hammer.
not a bad pickup at all here. Yeah. So it looks like with double Nova, he's probably going to be seeking out a special boon next more than anything after doing that. It's not a bad damage increase here. Both guys are probably seeking double edge a little bit more from the hammer. It's just a literally almost literal double damage increase for their dash attacks. So that's what they prefer.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let's have a look quickly here at how Varime's going against these boys. They can drop these grenades that'll do big chunky whops of, like 24 or so per hit. Rerolling on the Poseidon here, going for that hydraulic might. Interesting tech choice. What do you think?
Hydraulic might is a great boon. Maybe it doesn't perform as great as it looks, but it just sounds great as a speedrunner, right? You get 1 to 200% extra damage on your attack and special for the first 5 seconds of a room. It can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got a message from Bryke there, wanting to contribute. It's really good if anyone does want to be, somehow contributing to, improving the assets and improving the look and feel of the race. By all means, send me a message afterwards on Discord. You'll be able to find me. Vorime picking up. Actually, I missed it. Sorry, Haelian, did you catch that?
Oh, sorry. I was totally distracted by chat. I can blame chat for this one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. All right, so these guys...
No double edge. Okay, he looks like he grabbed Piercing Wave from the sign of these projectiles. Oof.
Yeah.
Neither player getting the hammers that they probably want. I would probably edge a little more towards Ello right now and just having a slightly stronger build with double Nova. But it's not too far beyond.
Yeah, I would agree. So what do you think the ideal hammers are to pick up in this build, right? Would you go for double Nova and double edge or something like that?
Double edge first and foremost by far. After that, it's not too big what the second one's going to be. You're thinking about probably Breaching Slash, which increases your damage to enemies with armor by 300%, and then you also got Shadow Slash, which increases your backstab damage by 200%. It's kind of iffy if the Shadow Slash actually affects dash strikes or not, but even without it, it does deal a decent amount more damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Vorime now entering the first fight. Who's it going to be against? It's going to be against the Fury Electo.
He was able to grab Battle Rage there from Ares. Not a bad pickup at all. Not too helpful in boss fights, but it'll help you clear those rooms pretty fast. Interestingly, he chose to skip the Palm. I believe this is a slightly secret strat by Vorime. He chooses to skip palms most of the time because he doesn't think the time loss in making the choice is worth the damage increase. So I don't know. What does chat think about this?
Yeah, is that the strategy he told you? Because I would think there's a payoff point, right? You want to level up to maybe at least level 3 for whatever your main damage source is going to be. And then obviously you get diminishing returns, right? Because it's a percentage each time. Yeah, I would have picked up the POM, but these guys are experienced speedrunners and they've been on the ladder much higher than me. So who am I to judge these decisions?
This was an old trick that Vorime used to pull in the previous patch, Nighty Night, on me. And it's how it was the only way he was able to edge me out of that any % world record, I assure you.
Very interesting.
Certainly not a difference in skill whatsoever.
Look, it's cool that people can bring in a little bit of their own flavor and approach and achieve different results, even if it's only like the smallest amount at the top end. Because really it does come down to seconds for hitting up those speedrun leaderboards.
Absolutely. Every second counts, and so Vorime knows that all too well, and Ello too. Ello picking up Trippy Shot, really pleasing the Amir gods here by getting his favorite boon, so hopefully Amir will be pleased with this performance tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like Vorime just picking up the... sitting in the lava, that's a nice little style move there. Picking up the additional dashes, and I'll tell you what, for a speedrun, that's a golden opportunity.
Absolutely. It's such a big move. Unfortunately, facing Thanatos here, but the extra dashes from Hermes is a huge power move here with Nemesis aspect on the sword. The way you think about it is you actually want to use the special as infrequently as possible, but the reason why you see us using it so frequently is really more so because you have to wait for your dash cooldown. By getting those extra dashes, you don't actually have to wait anymore or as often. So you get to see a lot more attacks in fewer specials.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like part Vorime is dodging that chaos gate. Oh no, never mind. He's going back. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know, right? You almost want to get every chaos every time, unless there's a special reason, because there's this great opportunity just to get more damage. Is he going to reroll on that? No. No reroll for damage. Interesting. That's okay. Choosing to keep the reroll probably is the move there, and also not take a risk, right? I think he's slightly ahead right now.
It looks like Vorime might be ever so slightly ahead here, but it's definitely still very close. The skipping the reroll might be another part of the Madman Vorime strats, where just think about the couple of seconds that it takes for that reroll animation to occur. Meanwhile, you could just choose whatever boon that you see there first, really.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so reroll on that and picking up was that Heartbreak attack? I didn't quite see, it was so quick.
That was Heartbreak Flourish, so he was able to grab the special from Aphrodite, and looks like Ello has also grabbed the special, so Aphrodite is a perfect spot for the special on the sword here, especially for Ello, who has double Nova, so he's going to be dealing some decent damage with that special. It's going to fill out the build quite nicely.
Yeah, interesting. You were talking about, the theory of how do you optimize. You want to be using special as little as possible, right? But throw in the double Nova and suddenly that mixes it up, because now you're doing double damage with a special. The ratio kind of changes of what your damage output is going to be. So something to take into account. And Ello's coming into the Mega Gorgon mini boss fight right now.
Ello with a big power move there. He was offered 2 Death Defiances in that previous well, and he is down 1, but he chose to buy neither of them. He is definitely feeling very confident right now, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, just slightly timing missing the hitting both enemies with the Meg, but that's okay. Still cleared it in nice quick time anyway. And while that was happening, we got Heartrend pick up there for Vorime, a huge move, and that's straight after a Eurydice pick up. So coming into this Lerny fight strong.
Ello was able to grab that Heartrend 2 at the same time from the mini boss, so it looks like Vorime is a little bit ahead. Both players with very similar builds. It might be edging a little bit more towards Vorime at the moment. But very close, especially with those extra dashes for Vorime.
Yeah, look, it's still anyone's game. It's incredible how close this is, really. And just want to make a quick shout out to these new boss attack patterns from Lerny here. I love these. How cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just great just to have these extra graphics that really better differentiate between the different heads and stuff, and just kind of gives a little bit more flavor to the boss in general. That does seem to grow stale over time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Ello downstairs there, picking up another Chaos. I'm just going to zoom that one in just because I want to see what he chooses. Picking up the Dash Strike.
Thought about that Dash Strike. Yeah, he had to think about it for a second there. Ended up choosing the shop here, which is interesting. I'm not certain if he's grabbed extra dashes from Hermes or not. It looks like he might have, actually.
Bit of a
wiggle. He picked up a lot of special damage from the well, though, that's for sure. I can see a lot of Chimera jerky on his side there.
Yeah, and Ello, in the meantime, choosing the shop, buying a Demeter boon that gave Ravenous Will. Probably not the greatest of boons, so maybe it would have been better off choosing the other option, getting it for free. Anyway,
Vorime choosing not to pay the blood price as he enters Elysium. A bit shameful that he was unwilling to sacrifice health even for the smallest amount of gold.
Yeah, look, like we were saying before, health is a resource, and these guys are definitely skilled enough to not worry about a little bit of health. Take that gold. Could mean buying a boon or not buying a boon later. So it does definitely all add up. He did grab a Chaos Gate there. So lots of Chaoses. This is a nice seed you've set up for these races.
Is... I planned this whole thing, Jerds.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I practiced for minutes the other day, and believe me. Now, it looks like Ellomenop has lost another Death Defiance, bringing him down to 1 in the middle of the Lerny fight here. His max health pool is not very high either. He only has 115 max to deal with. So he's kind of got himself in another tight spot, much like the previous run. Let's hope we can pull this through.
Absolutely. And are these guys running high confidence? Did we say earlier?
Absolutely.
He's definitely not spending enough time.
Confident players.
Yeah, I mean, they're confident, but I mean, Ello's not in that top 80% to get that buff for most of this run. So maybe it is worth just going thick-skinned and having less stress later.
This is the long-heated debate that we often have as speedrunners. Do you take the 25% damage bonus 1% of the time, or the health that makes you feel a little less stress? I think the choice is clear.
Well, the choice has been made. We'll see if it's clear by the end of the race, though, right? We'll see if any deaths actually occur. Look, I'm hoping no one actually dies midway. So
I'm not hoping so too, just because I got a hot date later, Jerds.
Well, and, that's why you're all dressed up, right? I can't really
have this running too late.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, absolutely.
Our E-date, it's going to be in 2 hours. We've still got to do this cast. All right, so... we got
a Zoom meeting.
How many chambers have we got in for Vorime? I think it's about the 3rd one so far.
Looks like Vorime is entering number 3 or 4 here. He's getting stuck with some sort of a lousy enemy pattern here with lots of small enemies.
Yeah.
In Elysium here, you really just want to see big, chunky enemies the whole time. With big burst damage builds like this, you can deal with them rather quickly. The frustrating part is just waiting for the enemies to spawn here, as you see Vorime having to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get those giant chariots if you can. All right, he's going into the big bullfight right now. Always good to get this. Just lowers the health. Oh, he's getting chunked quite quickly. A lot of damage output here. I'm loving it from Vorime.
Yeah, he's making quick work of this boss fight. Oh, he's trying to get the timing. Wow, perfect timing on that Meg Summon there, too.
Dude, love saying that. And wow, that was a really quick chamber, quick boss fight. And that'll let him go into the hero's fight with Asterius the Bull there on less health as well. So nice moves for Vorime. And picking up the Divine Dash. Everyone loves Divi Dash.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, perfect time to bring that up. And how can you go wrong with Athena's Dash? It's probably, in my eyes, possibly the single most powerful boon in the game. On its own, when you only have one boon, you're always going to want to take that Divine Dash, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Just realized that I didn't have some of the game sounds in there, so apologies for that, folks. Let me know if that's fixed and better now. So Ello just finishing up on the mini boss fight against the Bull.
He made really quick work. I think these guys are actually very close in terms of builds. Let's see if he's able to grab the dash, and he does. Very similar. Yes, it's interesting. That's how similar these guys get. I'm sure both runners would have preferred Artemis's dash here, just because you get that huge damage increase from taking Artemis's dash, which increases your dash attack damage. But I think they're just going to take what they can get here.
Isn't that hilarious though, right? Just the fact that we saw this because we had a test stream a few days ago, and we saw some of these similarities very far in to the race, where, you know, same boss fight, same boon offered, and same options within the boon. So it's a little bit of insight, I think, into just what's the design, and, you know, how do these chambers layout work, you know?
It's interesting. Wow, both players able to grab Patroclus, or as I like to refer to him as, Patty with gorgeous legs. Looks like, wow, Ello going for the big play here. He is grabbing the attack jerky, even though he's down to 1 Death Defiance. I am truly in awe. And meanwhile, Vorime has already finished the heroes. We didn't even have a chance to even look at that fight. I guess that just goes to show the huge power behind the Nemesis aspect here.
Yeah, very big moves. Apologies for not having the big screen on the big fight just there. But yeah, look, I think the damage output from both being so high at this point kind of means it's kind of even, right? So how much more power and speed can Ello pick up compared to Vorime? Are they both near their potentials already?
It looks like we got a little tip from Wriste that in chat over there that Ello was able to grab double edge, which is going to give him a no-joke edge over Varime's damage here, possibly.
Double edge, look, big fan of double edge. The very first speedrun I ever put up onto the boards was double edge with sword. Very fun. You want to be dash attacking to get that double attack from the double edge, and you'll see a lot of that now. Very easy to do since he's got the divine dash as well, so there's no fear, just diving in, throwing in that attack, even against armored enemies. Should be pretty safe to finish and go all in at maximum speed, I'd say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with this Divine Dash, I'm sure both players are feeling a lot better in terms of just safety and finishing the run. It also enables them to grab Deadly Aversal if they do get the chance. Ello grabbing hyper sprint there. A recent change to that. Oh, he actually skipped a free Athena, which he might be regretting, but he just took the closer door, which is not necessarily a bad move now.
All right, let's go down and watch Ello and see how he's going there with the...
Ooh, able to hit both heroes with that Mega Summon. That's perfect.
Looking good.
He's getting pretty close to losing another Death Defiance. I'm sure he'd rather not here, so he might play it slightly safe just to try to avoid it.
Making pretty good work of these guys. One down, and there's the other. Any second. Ooh, eating a Death Defiance first. Now down to 1. He's not going to be happy with that. In the meantime, right at the top there, we've got the sack picked up by Vorime. So he's going to go into the Hades fight any moment. Some quick
So Varime's going to grab a really big lead here over Ello with that 2-sack. Well, just going to have to see what Ello grabs from Styx. Hopefully the sack RNG is helpful to him.
Surprisingly, not spending all his gold. Could have picked up, I think, maybe a pom or a boon there from the shop. But then again, you know, just choosing to save those extra seconds and get straight to the fight. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I think that's what Ello's probably thinking about here now. He's probably just thinking that wasn't a very quick Elysium. I'm going to try to make up whatever time I can. I'm seeing some big critical hits from Vorime here on the Hades boss. He might have had a hydraulic might. I don't remember him picking it up, but those were some very juicy hits.
Absolutely. Interestingly, these guys see Vorime here choosing the Acorn, which prevents damage from the boss fights, the end of biome boss fights, such as Hades here. When you're on full health and full Death Defiances, though, I would have been more inclined to pick something different. Especially you got the Divine Dash, you're probably not going to be taking that much damage. And look at these skill moves, just dashing over Novas and other random attacks happening too. So doing very, very well. This is locked in pretty much for Vorime entering phase 2 here against Hades.
Yeah, so one strat that Vorime has actually, and possibly some other runners have started using, like Wriste, I think I've seen use, even when you're using high confidence and you have full DDs, they like grabbing the Acorn, just knowing that they're gonna have that high confidence up for the first probably full phase of the Hades fight here, thus having 25% extra damage that whole time.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the Acorn, I guess, extending that high confidence time. Really, really good point. Didn't think about that. So if you're Ello right now, since Vorime has just finished his second of 3 races here, going to be entering the shield phase, if you're Ello, you want to be picking up that sack. And just as I say,
he grabbed that stack.
There it is. So
picking up Sweet Surrender there, not a bad pickup at all. It's going to boost his damage by a decent 24% nearly. So he's not too far behind here.
So now the big question, Wolf Eat Dinner makes a very, very good point. Is Vorime going to throw down the flex right now? He's got quite the lead. This is the time you want to do it. You want to say in your face to my bestie online, go to the Charon fight.
Oh, I'm really hoping we're seeing something extra tonight from one of the runners.
A little bit extra is always juicy to see. So we got Ello entering the Hades fight now. He's got 1 Death Defiance, 125 health. He's eaten a Boiling Blood, which increases damage taken. So
he does have the Acorn on, so he knows not to care too much about the Boiling Blood, but still he'd rather not get the Acorn absorbed this early. His max health pool is very, very low. He only has 125 max health. Yeah. So it's a bit of an unfortunate spot in that sense.
Yeah, that Elite Gorgon there is going to take a long time to take down as well. So it might not happen between phases, right? Because you want to be maximizing damage between phases on Hades. So just playing the catch-up game here for Ello. Finishing phase 1, coming into phase 2 now. Still got 2 Acorn protects. There we go, shields down. Should be fine though. I don't see him going down. Hades is already going down to half health there. Some big chunks.
Wow. And Ello is still at max health, so he has nothing to worry about here. We never had anything to worry about. Ello knew exactly what he was doing this whole time, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to.
And he is done.
All right, well done. So Ello there finishing it up.
All right. So well Vorime has. So the third weapon for these players is the Zeus Aspect Shield. probably one of the fewest used aspects, at least in when I play the game for sure. And Vorime has chosen to go with Ares on the special, which is interesting. He did put on the Ares keepsake just to make sure that he got it. So this might be that secret strat we were trying to dig out of Vorime earlier.
It really is a secret, because when you think about it, just let's have a look here. Picking the explosive return on the hammer is always a good choice, right? Anytime that shield returns, doing an AoE explosion for a bit of a chunk of damage. Will he buy? Will he? No, he won't. Okay.
No, yeah, see, he's skipping those bombs because he knows it's going to cost him time just opening that menu and picking the choice from it. It's interesting strategy here.
I mean, there's only, I think, one choice that it could have been chosen from. He's only got one boon, I think, at this point. So it would have been just mash the button. But I would have chosen the power, right? I mean, a big part of your damage is coming from that shield. You do want to power it up at some point.
He's grabbing Dionysus here. I wonder if he could even possibly go for a certain duo boon. Well, he didn't really get what he wanted there and just chose strong drink at the end of it. But at least he gets to visit Boldy here. Let's see, does he gift Boldy? Oh, he does! Nice. The mega flex from Vorime right here.
Loving
Gifting
it.
Boldy, getting that beautiful boon, even checking what it was. Yep. Oh my goodness, Vorime.
So it was Heart of Stone.
Mad lad.
Haelian, that was madness. But what did he choose? What did he get?
I couldn't see it. He was too fast. I just couldn't.
Tell us in the chat if you saw it. It's probably move speed bonus 5%. It's going to be my random guess.
Might have been like a small attack speed bonus. I'm not 100%.
Okay, we'll see.
Grabbing a Chaos Gate here too.
So interestingly, we got empowering flight choice there from Ello. How is that going to pay out for him, do you think, with this build with the Zeus shield?
Honestly, my experience with Zeus shield is as limited as possible. This is an aspect I personally don't thoroughly enjoy playing, so so anything these guys choose is going to be news to me practically.
Yeah, look, intentionally wanted these guys to finish up on sort of like an uncommonly played setup, just really to flex on their skill and show that they can adapt to whatever situation.
Absolutely. I'm sure when these guys saw the list of aspects they were going to be using, I think we heard a lot of oh no's. Yeah. When they actually saw what was needed to be done.
Dogs. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got
interesting divergence in strategy here. I guess Vorime did keep that Ares strat to himself because Ello has chosen to go with the Artemis on that special, huh?
Yeah, look, I think, just raw damage is fine. See, the thing about Vorime only applying Doom is, I mean, you can't really multi-stack it until you get the multi-stacking boon. Having said that, though, still doing decent damage against Meg, and he's still in the lead.
He was able to grab Explosive Return. It didn't seem like Explosive Return was his first choice because he had a bit of a delay when he was picking it out. But it is a fairly powerful hammer still. It deals 50 damage went in a very, very large AoE when your shield special comes back to you. So it's still a solid hammer overall for any of the aspects.
Yeah, and I guess that means, you might want to modify your play a bit and just throw out the shield, bring it back quickly at point blank range, instead of sort of leaving it out there and spinning. Things to consider. So Ellomenop just on a little bit behind here. Let's see how far behind Killing Off the Furies fight he is.
Looks like he's not. Oh, he's still just entering the middle shop here, unfortunately for him. Thinking about that stuff, but it looks so similar to Vorime earlier, honestly. He skipped the palm, he skipped the boon. He just doesn't want any of that. I think Varime's strategy is now showing, though, because he equipped Athena's keepsake for entering Asphodel. I think we are looking for a very, very certain duo boon from Vorime right now.
What duo is that? Don't leave us in suspense.
It's Merciful End, Jerds. Come on.
I know. You love Merciful End so much. And that was a big reason for many of your world record titles back in the earlier days, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. There was a time where I just thought that was the only way. And honestly, I probably wasn't that good at experimentation. And instead, I just chose to do that one trick over and over. And it worked out at that time. But nowadays, it doesn't quite cut it for those records.
Well, I think, a big part of that is the game is becoming more and more balanced, which is a great move by Supergiant, meaning that
absolutely
multiple options, it's not just going to be one meta, one or two choices, and I love that because it means, for how you play, how you enjoy the game, you don't have to be a speedrunner. Any creative option that you can make work is going to be fun and it's going to be effective. So really good design decision, in my opinion. We got Ello coming into the chaos here. What's he going to pick up this time? Would you reroll that?
Nothing good there.
Special damage.
Hidden Rooms is a very dangerous move here as a speedrunner, but he might have been counting his chambers correctly. Okay, so it shouldn't affect him too much since he's about to enter the Fury fight here, so it'll probably wear off before that curse actually matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think it's the special is going to be a big part of his damage, especially with the Artemis there ticking away. Look, it's positioned quite nicely there on Meg.
Very good positioning on that.
Yeah, look, that's how you want it. You want it just to be sitting on there. That's a big part of the skill. The shield will pause at a particular point. So if you know that range, you can make it work for you.
Ello losing his first Death Defiance on the run. It looks like it is a recurring theme for Ello here, but he's always been able to pull it through. Let's hope that continues.
Yeah, look, I don't mind the fact that he's going all in and face tanking some stuff just to output more damage. He has to go all in at this point. He is behind. And Vorime picking up that Fountain Chamber and Divine Dash before as well. Well positioned to keep his lead.
Yeah, Vorime is definitely holding on to that lead for now. Ello choosing not to buy that Death Defiance. Not a bad move here. This is a decent aspect where you don't have to worry too much about taking damage half the time. I wonder, I didn't get to check his keepsake, but I wonder if he's going for something from Athena here also.
Yeah, wouldn't blame.
He is. So he's probably also looking for that Divine Dash, which Vorime has already picked up. So he is geared to get that Merciful End Duo Boon, which for anyone who doesn't know, Merciful End will trigger your Doom effects instantly when you proc a deflect move on an enemy.
That's right.
So that it might not sound that amazing, but it's actually deals a very, very large chunk of damage and very quickly.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of bonus damage, I think, on the impact of 50.
Oh, that's right, too, yeah.
Yeah, so you hit for that additional, I think, 50, as well as not having to wait for that Doom tick timer, because that's the real limiter, right? That DPS is, like, set. Oh, we got a duo there, choosing to re-roll the Stubborn Roots and not take it, which is totally fine. You probably wouldn't... And there's the Merciful End for Vorime. Going into the boss fight as well. So let's just watch...
Right before the boss fight, yeah.
Man, this is going to be quick.
Absolutely. That looks like Vorime might be able to secure that lead even a little bit more here. This is the third and final weapon for these guys, so Ello does have some catching up to do. Let's hope that he can achieve it.
Yeah. So pretty quick head clearing. It's a good indicator. How fast do the Hydra heads go down? Oh, there's a very fast one there. I'd say this is some good damage output here. It's a good setup.
Absolutely.
How much further the damage output can go, I think it's probably going to be based on how much Doom damage he can increase, through Dire Misfortune, that sort of stuff, and Poms. So,
looks like he already has a level 5 Doom on his special, which is pretty good at this point in the run, I'd say, especially since he already has Merciful End. The best boon he could probably get at this point is Impending Doom from Ares, which increases your Doom damage by 70%. It does have a debuff where it takes longer to proc, but that doesn't matter with Merciful End.
Yeah, that's true as well. So beyond that, I'm not sure what much more he could do for increasing his power. So he's already in a strong play. Hey, Merciful End has been picked up there for Ello as well.
Wow.
Interestingly, since he's got Artemis
in
running...
the same spot. Oh, I thought it was the same spot.
Interesting for Ello, though, since he's got that combination of Athena and Artemis boons, there's a chance he could also pick up Deadly Reversal, which would proc quite often, since he's Divine Dashing all over the place here. Yeah,
that could definitely be a little bit of an edge that Ello could grab over Vorime here, already having that Artemis boon like that, so that could definitely increase a lot of the damage. He does have Ares on the attack. I'm not certain if that's a benefit or not necessarily here. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm sure these guys know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Ooh, wisely choosing the Artemis here.
Pulverizing Blow selected. Not a big deal, I don't think, for Vorime upstairs.
Yeah, probably not going to matter too much. He doesn't even have an attack boon. He's just looking to get those dashes and specials in mostly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think Ello's going to have to hope for some Sac RNG to go his way and Sac RNG to not go Varime's way to catch up at this point. It's going to be definitely very, very difficult, but I'm not so certain we've seen Thanatos at all this run for either player, so that's something else that could help Ello out here.
Absolutely. Hey, support fire being chosen, not terrible, just to get that extra damage. He's doing a lot of outputs of different things, so we should see a lot of those green missiles firing. I don't mind that choice.
Probably. Oh, interestingly, he chose Urge to kill there, which is a bit of a shock. He had Impending Doom in the middle. A little bit of nerves there maybe might have gotten to him, because I believe Impending Doom would have been huge for him.
I mean, you are talking pretty much that flat 60% damage increase, right? I guess that is reduced by the fact that it... is it reduced by how quickly you proc the Merciful End? I'm not sure.
Nope.
But either way, like...
Nope, it's just a flat damage increase.
Yeah. So it's big damage. So really looking at 60% damage versus the 8% which you picked across the board. Yeah, look, let's see if it pops up again for him. Quite often they will, right?
It could just be something that he hasn't really considered, because he does have this special boon that he's got going on, and he probably just didn't quite consider it, since he does have a very diverse build here. It looks like Vorime is already at the mini-boss in Elysium, so he's definitely have a pretty strong lead at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So that mini-boss chamber typically happening around about the middle of the whole biome run. So he's about half a biome ahead, given that knowledge. And picking up Dire Misfortune, does he pick it? Yes, he does.
Dire Misfortune. Interesting boon, Dire Misfortune. I guess for me, it's hard to tell like how much it actually does in a run. You know, I guess if you're applying a lot of Doom quickly, then it might somehow do something for you. But I think the majority of the time, it's not really that great of a boon. It recently received a pretty big buff from Supergiant, so they must have thought the same. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think in this case... so the way he's applying Doom is by throwing that shield and it tick, 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 kind of at a pace like that. But he's also dashing over to proc those ticks. So really, it's not going to be stacking that often when we think about it. So every now and then, he might get a few extra points from the Dire Misfortune. It's really not a big deal. I reckon you could even sell it at this point.
It looks like Vorime was able to grab Impending Doom, although I think it was only common, but still, that's going to be a huge DPS increase with that Merciful End, and he was able to lead into a Patty room after that. So it looks like Varime's got some luck on his side here in Elysium.
Yeah, and Ello picking up the Explosive Return, so that's a nice little damage increase. He's doing a lot of point-blank work there. So we do have some good damage potential. I'd love to see the Deadly Reversal and how much of a difference that could make if Ello can pick that up. So he'd be looking for Artemis and Athena boons to try and get that.
It looks like Ello chose Charon's Keepsake for Elysium here, which means that he's probably seeking out things like a Cyclops Jerky and Chimera Jerky, things that increase your attack and special damage by a large portion if he's able to grab them here. Interesting strategy. He's able to grab an attack Jerky here, but it doesn't serve that well when you have Ares on the attack. Ooh, grabbing a Fountain Room, though, so hopefully that'll make up some time for him.
And taking the Hydraulic Might as Vorime goes into the Heroes fight with a huge big hit from Meg to start off the fight and big damage outlay. Looking good for Vorime, I'd say.
Oh yeah, definitely looking very solid. His damage output is pretty nice here. Ooh, losing one Death Defiance, but he's still looking very strong here. And especially with Athena's dash on both these players, there's not much risk involved, I say, in this run at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's his first Death Defiance in the whole race to be lost. So let's hope that doesn't affect his nerves in any way, shape or form. I doubt it. Very, very confident runners we've got here.
Vorime living up to his nickname of the Speedy Dream here. He is definitely heading into sticks with a solid lead as Ello was able to finish up the Bull of Minos mini-boss in Elysium.
Yeah, very good work there. So still playing the catch-up game there, Ello, but we're just pretty much entering halfway, just beyond the halfway point of the entire race. So, look, anything can happen at this point. Let's watch and see how these guys go for a bit.
All right, looks like Ello was able to enter the final shop right before the boss in Elysium. Wow, picking up Deadly Reversal. Oh, never mind. This is actually the middle shop. My mistake here. So he still has a few chambers to go in Elysium, it looks.
But I think he's got a lot of the power that he needs now. It'd be good to see... just what does he need now for more power? I guess you want to get those jerkies for increased special damage in this case for him.
Something like that. I mean, at this point, it wouldn't be a bad move to simply just avoid looking at anything almost, you know? He just doesn't want... it's not a bad move to simply avoid making decisions at this point and just try to save whatever time you can, because both of these runners right now, they have very, very nice damage output, and they don't need a whole lot else, and I'm not certain there is a whole lot else that they could get.
So I have to admit, look, I'm a little bit disappointed in Vorime. I did hear the fishing ding just then. He's got a lead. That was the time to flex. Didn't take the fish, went straight for the chambers, so...
It's a truly shameful move.
Oh, man. Look, you got to be cool if you're on stream. I don't know why I'm on stream. Next time I'll wear a suit. How about that? Then we can both look professional. But what do you guys think about my Cerberus shirt? I got it specially. Pretty
It's cool, a nice shirt. I like it.
Love it. Feels good. Yeah. I'll link you
later.
Yeah,
where'd you buy that?
Yeah, I think I got it off Redbubble, actually. So you can, yeah, just a cool design I found, yeah.
All right, so new sponsor for us then, you're telling me.
Yeah. Plug. Ooh, almost dropped the camera. I mean the mic. So we got Ello in the... making very quick work of this heroes fight right now.
Ooh, bad news for Ello is that Vorime is already heading into the Hades fight right now. He got the 2 sacks, so it looks like this is going to be the end unless something really tragic happens to Vorime here.
So how are we going for times here in comparison?
So it looks like Ello is probably going to be a solid at least 5 minutes behind, depending on how the sack RNG goes in his favor here. Ooh, Vorime really making quick work of Hades. Looks like that secret strat of his is paying off.
There we go. Hades going down there. Going down pretty quickly. That special is going to return. You want to have it on him for the start of the fight. Demeter's aid at full blast, going to be lasting pretty much the majority of this fight, I would say. Or getting pretty close to it.
That was amazing placement on the special from Vorime there.
Beautiful. And here we go, very, very quickly going down. Look at those chunking damage. Merciful end, I'll tell you what, still overpowered.
All he has to do is sit there, really. He was able to grab Athena's attack before the end, which meant he was able to just simply throw out the special and just spam the attack. And you could just see the doom being wiped off of Hades' face there. Finishing with a time with 1 hour, 2 minutes, 5 seconds, 77 milliseconds. Amazing time from Vorime here, and a great race so far.
Very great race, and that clear time in that fight with Zeus Shield, 10 minutes 19, very respectable just for a quick run, you know. Okay, let's see how Ello's going to do with the catch-up down here.
Ello just finishing his first path, going for the second mini-boss path. That is a common strategy here, just in case you do not get the 2-path sack, because the mini-boss rooms tend to go much, much faster than the average rooms. Just because those average enemy rooms, you do have to wait for enemies to respawn and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so there's that sack.
There we go.
It's a bit of a catch-up there to be had.
Still an amazing time coming from Ello here. I'm really surprised, especially since during our practice race the other day, we saw some much longer times.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to Vorime though. We'll get both these guys to come and have a chat with us and tell us how they think they went. And maybe a little bit of spicy talk will happen between the guys as we do that.
These guys are pros and good friends, so I don't think they'll be teasing each other too much, but it'll be fun to see what their thoughts are. And I wonder if this exercise has actually sort of changed how they thought about some of these aspects, because I'm sure, much like myself, these guys haven't necessarily played the Hera aspect or the Zeus aspect on the shield much here, but maybe just having to use it here changed their minds a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely right, you know. I think it's very easy when you're watching the leaderboards of fights, of Hades speedruns and whatnot. You kind of commonly do see a meta, right? You'll see this aspect, this weapon being used, which really puts down the list even further, some of these unused aspects. And just to sort of force them to race with it today, and to see that they're performing with them, you know, it really shows that the game's in a good position in terms of balance, makes things spicy and juicy and fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I think one of the most fun things about the game is taking something that you didn't think was going to work or that you didn't think was strong and just finding out what it can do, and sometimes it can really surprise you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So very quick damage going down here onto Hades as well.
Very nice damage here, yeah.
Just stand in the beam. That's the secret trick, right? You know, he does that 360 beam. Who cares? Just stand in the middle of it, right, and eat the damage.
All right, our boy Ello finishing with a time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, 52 seconds, and 39 milliseconds. Wow, great times from both these runners. Huge congrats to Vorime for finishing in first place here, and a huge props to Ello for finishing with an amazing time.
Yeah, very, very good stuff, guys. Great race. How about we get you guys to come onto mic, just back through Disco, and we'll have a bit of a chat about what happened. Let us know when you're back.
I'm here.
Hey.
Hello. So we got both gentlemen's, both races. Vorime, the Speed Dream, living true to the name. You've come up first in race one. How do you feel? Congratulations.
Whew, feels good. I'm very glad I got to showcase that Zeus shield build.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it worked very well. I guess was a big part of that, big part of your strategy, hoping to get that merciful end as soon as possible?
Absolutely. Ello is fuming right now as he hears this, I'm sure.
Well, you'll be interested to hear.
Ares
to give you guys some context. Sorry, we're talking over each other, my bad.
No, you're good.
What were you saying?
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind hearing just a little bit more about your overall strategy for the race, beyond just the Zeus shield. What was your plan going into the bow with Hera, and what was your plan with going to Sword Nemesis?
So for Hera bow, it was just kind of trippy shot and pray. I'm just hoping to get some, some extra cast, some cast damage. Hoping to get the duo boons. Really just slamming palms into that cast as much as possible. Unfortunately, got a common rarity cast, which made us quite slow for a while, but pulled it out.
I don't know what you mean, Vorime. That was the perfect seed for you guys, I think.
I knew as soon as I saw it.
Strongly disagree. Yeah, common rarity, for Zeus, I think is really, really rough. I'm sure, I don't know how much you guys, what Vor got or anything, but, I got the crazy legendary on Hermes and stuff.
Hermes, yep.
But that was one of those times where I would have traded away that boon in an instant for even rare Zeus cast. The thing from at least when I was theory crafting it that felt really important was just reaching that threshold where you can one shot enemies. And if you don't get that, Elysium in particular is really, really brutal. So
yeah, absolutely. So, Ello, if you don't mind, maybe just showing us your victory screen and just popping up some of those boons for some of the viewers to see what your final build ended up being there. I was respecting that Artemis choice on the special, and then definitely came up trumps with Deadly Reversal. But it would have been nice to have gotten that Deadly Reversal earlier, I reckon, for your shield run there. Yeah,
I have to admit, when I slammed Merciful End, I just assumed it was going to be Deadly Reversal. So
yeah.
I did do some experimentation with Merciful End right before the race. Did you build it on your special, the Ares?
I did.
Yeah. So I like that idea a lot, and I wish I had looked into it a bit more ahead of time. The way it panned out for me is I took Ares attack just for some power spiking in Tartarus, and then I intended to sell it, to be honest with you. I wasn't going to go for the most Merciful End build. I decided against it. And then, when I got the increased... Yep. And when I got the, increased rarity, I believe I got a shop right before the mini-boss in Asphodel. And I was excited because I saw Athena in that shop, and I could take Dash there, which would enable Deadly Reversal in the mini-boss. And mini-bosses actually have an increased rarity with the boons they drop. So I got back-to-back Athena and was really excited to get Deadly Reversal right there. And so I just clicked the Duo boon as fast as it flashed, and then I realized it was Merciful End, which I'm kind of glad happened because it turned into a way cooler build this way. But I was pretty happy with my Blitz disc in general. I think the Hera was a nightmare, and Nemesis in the end got good, but Tartarus I lost way too much time in Tartarus alone.
Yeah,
it was actually interesting. It was from the second run where actually Vorime caught up most of his time there with the Nemesis sword. One of the big things was just you had a lot of extra dashes. You had hydraulic might. I think both of you guys just had everything you needed for it. But Vorime just edged out a little bit more time in the sword run, but then you guys stayed almost completely even in the third.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I might bring up some statistics on that one in a second. Wouldn't mind doing a little bit of theory crafting here. We've got Preston Smith just asking, how do we feel about the Chaos Shield with Zeus Boons stacked with extra bolts, jolted, and, I guess, double strike and all those beautiful things you can get. Do you think that'd be a competitive racing potential for Zeus Shield? It's not just a name, maybe?
Yeah, Vor, you want to take this one?
For Zeus Shield, I'm not so sure. I think the power of that Merciful End build is really on display there at the end once I got Athena attack. It just chunks the bosses so fast. I don't know if Zeus could compete. That said, for Chaos Shield, we do run the full Zeus build in all weapons a lot of the time. Up until very recently, that was the main speedrun shield build. So it's a good thought.
I have a little bit of a different take there. I think it's really strong, but from a racing format, it's quite weak. Just because the variants, like, you really need the Zeus Legendary, and you really need to get enough Zeus. Right? We can only control up to one of each god, right? By using keepsakes. Yeah. So the I'm losing the word right now, but it's too uncertain, right? To get the build where it actually beats out any other, build like Merciful End that Vor said, or even just going like a good standard damage build with Deadly Reversal. I don't think it's worth it. It's too risky.
Fair enough. So on screen here, we got some stats on how the run went in general. First thing I always look at when I see this is chaos rooms, because that can be obviously a chaos can provide so much of a damage boost in general. And it's really good to see here that we got a bit of a balance across 3 races. Vorime picking up 5 chaos rooms versus Ello's 7. So that's somewhat balanced there. Ello and Vorime, I think you could confirm with us. I don't think there were any times that you chose not to choose a Chaos Gate, except for maybe once. I think Ello maybe was on low health and chose not to.
Did I miss one?
I took every Chaos Gate.
Haelian,
the only Chaos Gates I wouldn't take in a race scenario are the ones right at the end of the biome before the end shop, because it's an extra room.
Yeah, that did happen to me, Vor, and I took it. So I did get an extra chamber on my second run in Tartarus, I believe. So
Vorime picking up a couple more NPC rooms, those story rooms, obviously big time save, and a couple of fountain rooms there compared to Ello. So that all adds up to the differential that we had of 2 minutes and 47 seconds between the two in the end. Very, very close, I would still say, when you're considering just how much is being played. So hats off to both of you in terms of skill.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Jerds, but
no, you're good.
I just realized your Hera bow time was slower than mine, Vor.
I'm sorry. I got 4.
I'm like actually shocked.
He got the 4-path stack.
Okay, yeah, the 30-second differential, that makes sense. Okay. I was like, God, that was terrible. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's all good.
There.
No, you're good. Yeah, so that's the stats there. Haelian, got any thoughts on these stats and how it all played out in the end?
I mean, it's just amazing to see, really, that just how kind of even it ended up being. And interestingly, we only saw Thanatos once, thank God, because I couldn't stand the sight of him anymore.
Hilarious. Okay, well, congratulations. With that, Vorime does go through on the bracket through to completes race 1 and goes through to what's going to be the semi-finals. Who are you going to fight next? We'll see. Actually, I'll just bring it up on, if you just give me a quick second here. Haelian, have you got any parting words for these guys before we go to an intermission? We will yeah, go for it.
Thank you guys so much, and I respect both of you so much, and for being such a big part of the speedrunning community. I'm sure, much like everyone else here. So, congrats to Vorime, and thank you to Ello for coming. And I hope to have both of you guys back again as much as possible.
Yeah, well played, Vor. And good luck for the next racers.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for hosting this and putting this on and doing everything. Thanks, Ello, for being a great competitor. That was a very close race. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Thank you, gentlemen. See you guys on the leaderboards. If you guys want to check these guys out, we should probably do some plugs. So, Vorime, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Vorime.
Nice. And Ello?
Yep, same deal. Twitch.tv/Ellomenop.
So check those guys out. Probably a good idea now just to go there and hit follow for those guys. Great races, and we'll always make a big effort to sort of interact with the community. And that's what I love about the Hades community so far. Everyone's, just wholesome and supports each other. So with that, let's leave it there. So thanks very much. We're going to go right on to race 2, but there will be an intermission in between that. We'll need to do a little bit of setting up for that. Our next 2 races are going to be Wriste13 versus Krashercorr. They're going to be running with Rail first on Hestia, Fist with Demeter aspect second, and then Poseidon sword for third. So again, nice variety of weapons and aspects. We'll really get to see a showcase of their adaptability and their skills. The intermission is going to be probably, let's say 15 minutes, but we'll get things running as soon as possible. I think I'm going to probably actually end up having to, if there's a chance that I end up like ending the stream and I'll be restarting it. So feel free just to sort of hang out during that time. So don't be dismayed if that happens.
I'll be entertaining people in chat, so feel free to field your dirty questions to me in the meantime, guys.
You're a good man. Thank you, sir. All right, until then, intermission time. See you soon.
See you soon, guys. We achieved music.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Whoops. How are you going? Can everyone hear me? How are we going? We're back on stream and we're at the Hermes Cup race number 2. I've got to pause my random phone making some sound here. So we're back and we're live and we've got another race for you now. We got Wriste versus Krashercorr. And Haelian, why don't you give us a bit of an introduction to these two characters whilst I update some of these screen elements.
Sure, absolutely. So we'll start with Wriste13. He is a prolific high heat runner. More than anything, I'd say. He started streaming semi-recently, and you can catch him live fairly often nowadays. He is mostly well known for doing these very high heat runs, 40 plus usually, with these weird and interesting weapon aspects. You know, Zeus shield, I think he achieved in the mid 40s. He did Arthur aspect, I think he got 46 heat, if I remember, and 48 heat with Hestia aspect. So I'm sure he's happy to see Hestia as the first choice on the roster here. And next up, we got Krashercorr, also known for his high heat runs. He is prolific in the Supergiant Discord. He even keeps track for everyone else, actually, just who has achieved what in terms of heat each patch. He has an updated document on there, and he has like a very, very interesting leaderboard, or sorry, victory board himself, if you ever get to see it, where he has at least 40 heat on every single weapon, I believe. So both these guys kind of coming from a different territory with these high heats, but they're clearly very interested and they're very skillful runners here. So I'm sure they're going to do a great job in making sure that they have some fast races here. Oh, and I'm gone.
Yeah, sorry, I'll fix that, folks. You definitely want to see Haelian right now because he's looking very professional, very, very handsome. Spicy?
Would you describe it as juicy, Jerds?
I like spicy better because it just goes better with your sort of red hair.
Oh,
you want to be juicy? Mate,
well,
you got to buff up
I'm
if you're going to be juicy.
Out, Jerds, but I'm strawberry blonde, actually. It's not just a pure red. Thank you.
Okay, apologies. No worries. Well, in the meantime, I'll fix Haelian's camera, but we can actually sort of get started with the race pretty soon. Before we start the race, we want to introduce the racers and have a bit of a chat with them, see how they're feeling. So, Wriste13, are you there, buddy?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Good to hear you. Good to see your smiling face. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm a little bit nervous, but it was just, I just got like half a shot of rum in me, so I feel okay now.
The old Dutch courage, that'll make things smooth.
There you go.
Why don't you tell
us
a little bit?
Nerves.
Yeah, reduce the nerves. Is this a normal strategy you use? Because for your high heats, they can get pretty intense, right?
No. Well, in order to calm my nerves during those times, I listen to lo-fi hip-hop beats you can study /chill/sleep/die to or whatever.
That seems oddly specific, Wriste.
I'm just quoting the stream title. People know what it is.
Fair enough.
All right, so your 3 weapons and aspects in a row. To defeat Krashercorr, you're going to have to beat him on Rail Hestia, Fist Demeter, Sword Poseidon. What's your strategy?
I mean, I can't give anything away because I know that only one of us came here studying for the test, so I don't want to give away all of the answers too quickly, right? He'll have to watch the VOD.
Ah, nice. Yeah, see, I asked the same question for Vorime and he wouldn't give it up either. So very, very smart.
I can tell you my strategy. It's go fast, do big number, don't die.
Yeah.
And win.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Well, you forgot one important thing at the end there, Wriste, and I think you forgot the fish.
Oh, I did forget one thing.
Look, I tell you what.
Crush the competition.
Crush the competition. Look, if Wriste or Krasher, this goes for you, by the way.
Oh,
I'll introduce you in a
Wriste.
second, but if either of you has an exceptional lead and you don't flex on the other guy right now, you're going to lose viewers and respect. Just telling us. So you better fish, you better Charon fight, you name it.
Unsubs by the dozens.
I'll work on it.
And Wrist's opponent for race number 2 here in the Hermes Cup is going to be Krashercorr. Krasher, how are you? How are you feeling today?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm feeling okay. I have my beer, which is really the most important part. And this is what this whole thing is all about. It's hanging out with some buds and drinking some booze and going
I'm gonna fucking crush you. You better watch out, motherfucker.
All right.
Oh, I'm so scared of the old limp wrist.
Oh my goodness.
See,
Jerds, I didn't know we were inviting 2 alcoholics to race tonight.
I didn't know either. Look, I'll keep that in mind for Hermes Cup number 2. Make sure that they send us some alcohol so it can all be alcoholics. Look,
That's
Wrist,
the spirit, Jerds.
It's up to you to show that you will rule with an iron fist instead of being the limp wrist in this fight. Krasher, tell us what your strategy is going to be.
My strategy is I don't have a strategy because 2 of these weapons I'm very unfamiliar with, but I think it'll be quite fun.
Interesting strategy to exude so much confidence here, Krasher.
You know, if you just got to do what you got to do.
That you do.
I don't think there's much else.
All right. Well, in that case, sounds like you guys are feeling ready. Let's get a bit of hype in chat, just some spam stuff, and we'll do a bit of a countdown, and then we'll get onto the race. So, Wrist, Krasher, if you could position your Zag booties, and we'll get started. Haelian, why don't you count us down?
All right, I'm just going to wait for Wrist to get over to the starting line here. He's just double-checking his mirror, it looks.
Yep, good moves. Don't want to make a mistake.
All right, looks like both runners are ready. Okay.
Don't forget to trigger your live split timings, folks.
Okay, so there might be a slight difference in their live split times, just so you guys know, but don't worry too much about that. Just from the stream delay. All right, boys. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Ooh, still very, very even, so we don't have to worry too much about a delay here and thinking too hard about it.
Yeah,
ever
that's
so
great.
like not even half a second towards Wrist here.
So we got both competitors choosing the Artemis keepsake to lock in the Artemis boon, and Krasher choosing common attack there.
Wrist was able to grab the rare attack, so I think that the reason that they're different there, since even though this is the same team, must mean that Krasher is actually using a different mirror setting for the boon rarities, which is a very interesting strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen that yet. And as we go into this Rail Hestia run, I guess these guys are really looking for, you know, hitting that big damage on that attack. One shot reload kind of combination. And something you can do with this playstyle is throw out that special in timing with your reload, so you can pump out that extra bit of damage. You want to be doing that. Yep.
So you're going to have that little bit of downtime while you're waiting for that reload to get that big hit in. So you might as well throw out that special. You can already see big hits coming from Krasher here. 563. I see over 700 from Wrist too. So you can see Hestia is a really powerful weapon when it comes to that single target damage. Where it struggles is sort of in that multi-target. So you might see them kind of slow down when they get enemies with when they get in rooms with lots of little enemies, but they'll make up for that in these really quick boss fights.
Yeah, absolutely right. The one way to mitigate that and get a little bit more AoE damage is obviously, you know, things like hammers for triple bomb, you know, anything that increases how much special coverage and AoE coverage you'll do. But another thing you could do is pick up the hammer ricochet fire and extend that Hestia shot onto a second, which is a secret high heat strategy I want to play with later on after the race.
Yeah, it's one of those new hammers they introduced with the blood price update. It's a great hammer. Your shots just ricochet off one enemy to another, and with Hestia, you can imagine you're essentially hitting 2 enemies instead of 1 every single shot. So that's just amazing for getting through rooms quickly.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Just doubled that damage. So both folks here have both races picked up a Chaos Gate each. We got Krasher picking up the was that early Hunter's Mark I just saw?
It looks like it was, which is going to be a pretty big pickup for him, and it was epic too. So that'll be a nice spread of the critical strikes here, and it'll help him a lot in clearing some of these rooms. Big mistake from Ritz, though, there in that mini boss room. He actually skipped Crystal Beam and took something else from Demeter.
Yeah, very interesting. But look, plenty of time, I guess, for anything to happen at this point. These guys really just want to be moving around very quickly, being efficient, not spending too much time, I guess, like doing over damage and overkill. And yeah, look, it's early times. Always grab those shop rooms when you can, which we see Wriste just did there. It's a very, very fast chamber to go through to get to the end. Might
be a good time to bring up that these runners are always going to want to skip enemy encounters whenever they can. So that means they take every shop, they take every Chaos Gate, they take every story room, meaning Sisyphus, Patroclus, and Eurydice. They just want to avoid fighting enemies as much as possible. Wriste getting stuck with an early Thanatos here. A bit unfortunate, but usually Tartarus is the fastest place to see him anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that's right. And you know what? He'll give that extra 25 health for finishing it off early, which does give him just a little bit more leeway to move around. He started off, he's only got 80 health at the moment, so he's obviously started with a low health strategy. So a little bit of extra buffer will help out early on. Yeah, so it looks like we got quite a bit of a divergence in terms of their builds. Crasher's definitely got a very different mirror setup from Wriste here. We have a question from Preston Smith in chat. He's asking about the seed and why it is why they got different starting boons. Actually, it is still the same seed for them. The reason why Krasher got a lower rarity attack is because he must have a different mirror setting set, and I think it's God's Chosen is called, where you see more gold leaf rooms instead of silver leafed. Yeah, that's right. And that's a percentage increased chance for that too. So the RNG sort of rolled in a different way, and Krasher picking up that ricochet fire there. Now, this is going to be fun to see. That's going to be big. But in the meantime, Wriste already up against Tisiphone there in the first fight. And it looks like Krasher got Meg, which is a slight way to pull ahead here over Tisiphone. Tisiphone wastes time by just pausing and changing the room configuration, whereas Meg just simply spins for a second or two when you phase her. Yeah, Krasher definitely seems to have a very strong build, so he could easily make up the small amount of time loss that's been had here. All right. Wow, very quick fight from Krasher there. It definitely won't take long for him to catch up at all here. That ricochet fire is going to make a big difference for him. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great to see it picked up so early, because it'll be interesting to see how much of an advantage that gives across, the rest of the biomes. Both players choosing to take Athena's keepsake here, no doubt looking for that dash once more so that they can grab Deadly Reversal, I'm sure. Slightly different build here in the sense that Krasher has Aphrodite's special, whereas Wriste has the Ares special. I'm sure both players would love to just simply have Aphrodite, though, since that's going to be a good combo if they can get Heartrend going. Absolutely. Krasher picking up the from the shop the additional attack damage there, so it'll be hidden for big here. Expect some one-shots on a lot of those enemies, which will make, anytime you have to do a full reload and another shot when they're on very low health, that feels bad, man, with Hestia around. Yep. So. That's the gamble when you choose Artemis's attack here with Hestia, but what can you do? Unfortunately, Krasher's still stuck with that level 1 common Artemis boon on the attack. He was probably really looking to grab a palm or two just to get a little bit more on it. Those first couple of palms can make a big difference there. Yeah, big damage difference. You are right against what Wriste is running with the level 3 on the Artemis attack there. So, and of course his is rare as well. All right, here's Wriste's first crutch here with Athena's epic dash. Congrats to him for grabbing that crutch so early here. He's going to need it if he's going to want to finish this run. Absolutely, and as he goes into the Barge of Death, which is obviously one of the longer fights that you can have in a chamber, he's going to be cringing a little bit there. You can see on his face, even through the darkness, he's disappointed. He is displeased. Fair enough. So at this point, early days, it's hard to say. Krasher picking up a shop room, which will give him a little bit of catch up there. We're still doing a good job with the Barge of Death here. It's happening pretty quickly. I wasn't able to grab what hammer he got, if he was even able to get one yet. And it looks like Krasher was able to grab Hydraulic Might from that shop, so that should be a pretty big increase. Oh, Krasher also walking into the barge of Deadly Slowness, unfortunately, here. Both players getting the slowest mini-boss possible.
Which therefore makes the race, I guess, fairer in this case, and an early Merciful End pickup for
Very interesting. You can see Wrist shaking his head. It's not quite what he was hoping for, but wow. Getting a little bit of luck here from this fountain room.
Yeah, that's true. You pick up the Hunter's Mark here, surely. And interesting, how is he actually going to apply the Merciful End, you know? Like, so what does he need to do? He needs to throw the special and then dash through. All whilst
it's probably not even worth attempting. Maybe at best he could try to sell it at the shop that's coming up. It's not really going to do a whole lot here for him, I'd imagine.
Yeah, get that gold and blaze it, right?
Interestingly, instead of Hunter's Mark, he could have chosen to gamble on trying to get Deadly Reversal, but he just took the Hunter's Mark, which is probably the sane choice.
Yeah, I have to say, obviously your single target damage is not the thing that lacks with this build, so nothing wrong with going to Hunter's Mark, increasing that AoE potential essentially, right? You hit something and you crit it, then something else will get that debuff where you can crit on it.
Still grabbing, you know what he's probably looking for here from Ares, and why he picked up so many Ares boons is Battle Rage, which is an excellent boon that you can get with Hestia, where your next shot after killing an enemy can deal up to 200% more damage. That is a huge pickup. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, and he ended up grabbing Impending Doom, which is kind of very interesting with this, I gotta say, that he kind of got stuck with these boons.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see him very disappointed and shaking his head. I'm sure we'll hear about it after the race. Especially since he could have picked up that Urge to Kill, which is just a solid boon all around. Your special, your cast, and your attack. Not that the cast matters in this one so much. Just getting an 8% damage is just very decent overall. It's actually one of the stronger boons in the game, I would say.
You think so? Urge to Kill? It's one of those ones that I usually end up settling for, is how I describe it.
Well, I guess... I mean, obviously, once you've got, you know, your base boons set up, like, you know, your plus 60% damage from attack or whatever you got. But, yeah, you know what? I redacted, put that in the square brackets.
You don't have to redact yours.
No, it's a settle boon. It's a settle boon. That's what we'll call it.
I guess that kind of, what you said kind of proves the point that once you get your core boons, then that's a nice pickup. So I guess the way I look at it is it's not really like one of those core boons that you're going to want straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrist finishing up the Hydra just slightly ahead. He's probably not even 20 seconds ahead here from Krashercorr, who's making quick work of these Hydra heads here, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty quick finish, I'd say. Still interested to see how Krashercorr can catch up with power of Ricochet Fire going into Elysium. And then Wrist just picking up the immediate Chaos Gate there, which is a good move. Let's see what he can roll. That's going to be huge.
Those free rooms in Elysium matter so much more than most of the other biomes, because those enemy encounters in Elysium can just take so long sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
So Krasher has now finished up Asphodel. He's moving on to Elysium. Looks like he's going to throw on Charon's Keepsake, which is a good move. He's probably going to be trying to get some attack jerky from the wells and maybe similar items. Ooh, he's able to grab a Light of Ixion, so he'll also have a Chaos Gate start of Elysium here.
Interestingly, not rolling on the Fated Twist for 45 gold, because you never know, you might pick up an attack. I mean, I guess it's maybe a 1 in 20 or something, but... It's
a shameful display by Krasher, really, not to gamble. I believe a man should gamble every chance he gets here, really.
All right, let's see how quickly this Butterball can go down. Opening up with the Meg to make it a quick armor break, and then straight on that damage there. Look, that's not even going to spawn one enemy in this case. Very, very quick room here. For Wrist.
Yep, very nice. This is a great mini boss to get over the other. Wow, gets exactly what he's looking for here with Deadly Reversal too.
Yep, that's excellent. He'll want to be applying that deflect to trigger off that extra crit chance.
Those crits can be huge damage, so any extra chance to crit here is going to be really a huge increase, really.
I think we just saw a little bit of mouse control with that with that aiming reticle on the special. Is that right? Or did my eyes deceive me? Is Wriste actually...
I'm not sure.
Is he doing the crazy Jerds strategy of playing joypad in the left and then mouse with the right?
I don't think anyone's as mad as you, Jerds, to even attempt that, so I'm hoping not for the sake of the rest of us.
Yeah, well, you know, other people could be angry young men like myself. So, Wriste emoting quite a lot on camera here. I'm disappointed with some of the options provided by the doors.
Yeah, not getting exactly what he wants. Again, he's just kind of looking for that Cyclops jerky for the extra attack damage. Not much else he really wants from there. Oh, besides the Light of Ixion, of course. All these players will check every single Charon well because they really want those Light of Ixions to get extra Chaos Gates.
So we've got Krasher now doing the Butterball fight, and that's another quick room. I don't think I saw any of them spawn there, any enemies, so...
Another great fight. It's important to note that you want to use Meg or whatever summon you're choosing right away because the armor on these mini-bosses is greater than their health after the armor breaks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting pickup from Krasher. You actually grabbed Rocket Bomb, which I think is actually kind of a nice piece to this build. He probably would have preferred something else that helps the attack, but it's still not a bad damage increase overall.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else you could want. Maybe Triple Bomb or something like that would do okay. But he did pick up Ricochet Fire as the first boon, so I think he's got a good setup hammer-wise.
Absolutely. I think he's geared to do very well here. Wriste grabbing this jerky from Patty here. That's going to be perfect for him, and he's going right into the final shop. Wriste pulling a little bit ahead here over Krashercorr.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see just how quickly the Hestia rail upgraded and whatnot is going to chunk these bosses. Opening up with the Meg here. Only hitting the Minotaur, unfortunately, so not aiming right. He's going to be rolling his eyes a little there. Let's see some big numbers. We've got 1,048 from a single hit on Theseus there, hitting the backstab. Not going down as fast as I expected, but in the meantime, on the bottom screen, we got Krasher picking up Heartrend, which is going to be a little bit of a damage increase potentially there.
That should be really nice. Wriste missing that Meg. I thought I was the one playing the game for a second there. I've never seen Wriste miss that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting if there's a chance that it's not going to hit both targets at when you first spam it entering this fight. I'd be waiting until they're both definitely together to lock that shot in.
It's definitely one of those things that's it's interesting because it's probably just a small, minute difference, but at the same time, there's so much that goes into that single move at the start of the fight. It's hard to know what to do and then to remember each action you should do.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's happening with Krasher here? Just waiting for this Thanrin to slowly get done. Oh my dog.
Yeah, unfortunately, Krasher got the Thanatos and Elysium here, whereas Wriste was able to get him in Tartarus, which is probably much faster, really. But this is just the 1 out of 3 weapons, so definitely still it could be anyone's.
I do have to respect Krashercorr's play here, though. You'll notice he's bunching up these juicy enemies for the juicy Ricochet Fire and special hits, getting the AoE down to clear the room faster than in any other way. So that's pretty good.
I can't think of enemies that could be any juicier there, Jerds. I don't know about you.
Just the Bull of Minotaurs, right?
Wow. Krasher grabbing that deadly reversal just like Wriste. Yet again, seeing super similar builds here, really. I still think Krasher might have an edge in terms of build, but Wriste is able to keep it ahead right now.
Opening up with the Meg, and it's going to hit both enemies first, so that's a little advantage you want to get. Whilst you're on the catch-up, shooting those big bullets into the beefy rump of the Minotaur here for those juicy hits. I think I saw a 1,200.
We're definitely seeing some big numbers here. I'm sure with that Heartrend pickup, we're going to see even bigger numbers come. Wow, 1951 I think we saw there.
Yeah,
and with Rocket Bomb, it's much, much easier to apply that weekend than with the regular rail special.
Absolutely, it's so quick and accurate, especially playing point blank. You're not going to miss. I really see a lot of catch-up potential here from Krasher.
Absolutely, and looks like Wriste is moving on to his second path here, hoping to get the sack down at the end of this one, that's for sure, while Krasher is beginning to enter Styx.
All right, special damage picked up from Charon Well for Krasher. There's a little bit of a boost there, which will be good.
Not a bad choice. I'm wondering if he's still wearing Charon's keepsake there just to make it last an extra 8 rooms. Not a bad choice. Meanwhile, Wriste has chosen to go with a similar strat that we saw from Vorime and Ello with the Acorn, just to make sure that high confidence stays on. But it doesn't make sense for Krasher, since it did not appear that he took high confidence at the mirror at the start.
Absolutely, and Wriste's going to be happy. He's just picked up his sack, and that's going to mean he's going to get straight into that Hades fight. He's got 520 to spend, probably pick up, what's he going to pick up? Straight into Blinding Flash, going for that exposed status.
Yeah, not a bad boon for this, I don't think. He does have Athena's dash, if I remember right, so getting those backstab hits can be pretty juicy, actually.
Yeah.
But it's another shameful display by him, though, because I couldn't help but notice that he turned down Crystal Beam yet again from Demeter, so I'm a bit disappointed once more by Wriste.
Yeah, look, for folks that don't know, there was a gentleman's agreement that has now been broken by Wriste not picking up the Crystal Beam. Was it Wriste? I actually didn't see.
Wriste was the one that denied the Demeter pleasure there with Crystal Beam.
Yeah, we'll have to give him some crap after the race for that one. So Krasher's still, struggling through the tunnels while Wriste takes on Hades here.
Just grabbing Sunken Treasure there. Doesn't want to think too hard about those useless Poseidon boons, really. No hydraulic might, so he just moves on.
Yeah, absolutely. Funnily enough, Hades not going down as fast as I expected. Yeah, like you can get big chunky hits, but there is the delay between each hit, so it's not the fastest boss killing aspect, I don't think. Having said that, they both have to do the same thing, so no unfair advantages. But
no, absolutely not.
That was a fairly long Hades fight, I would say, in terms of speedrunning. So we'll see.
I mean, I think Krasher with those with Heartrend and a couple other things, he definitely has a bit more damage in terms of build. Ooh, it looks like Krasher unfortunately does not get the 2-path sack, so he's going to have to take a 3rd path before he gets to fight Hades at the least.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but that be the breaks and how the cookie crumbles from RNGesus. Choosing to stand in the center is the pro tactic there against Hades whilst he does that 360 beam. Taking damage is not a problem.
Give Daddy a big hug, basically, and just hope for the best.
Yeah, if I was Supergiant, I would say, well, actually, you're standing in the middle of 7 beams. You should take 7 times the damage. Or is that a bit unfair? Is that a bad design choice?
Oh man, it'd be humorous just for those of us that are used to it, and then we just get absolutely creamed the first time that we attempt it.
Yeah, that's right. So we see a time of 1946 there, finishing off the Hestia rail there for young Wriste, which is great.
Great time. I mean, anything below 20 minutes is amazing, really, with any weapon, I think. And it looks like Krasher is able to pick up the sack. I believe that was his 3rd path, so unfortunately the lead has been extended for Wriste ever so slightly here, but still it's just 1 weapon and 2 more to go.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see how much catch-up he can do with his build here on the Hades fight, because it was a kind of slow fight, I felt, for Wriste. It was like middle ground, so there's potential here. In the meantime, we see Wriste taking Ares into his next run, which is going to be Fist, Demeter Fist.
That's a really interesting choice, I gotta say. I can't help but think he stole Varime's secret strat earlier, and he's possibly just going for a full Merciful End build. It is definitely it's a dangerous build to go for, just because Merciful End is not an easy boon to get necessarily, especially with the very particular boons you're looking for, like Athena's dash here.
Yeah, absolutely. So funnily enough, he's re-rolled straight away, the very first thing, to get the blue attack doom damage on his attack there. So that's definitely sounds like a Merciful End setup to me. You get the divvy dash if you can, and and you proc away. In the meantime, Krashercorr's hitting Hades down. Again, probably a similar sort of speed to what Wriste was doing, I'd say.
Yeah, that Ricochet Firehammer isn't going to help him much in this Hades fight, since you really just want to up that single target damage. But Rocket Bomb's helping up a little bit. He's hitting for 350 damage with those specials, and that's a good way to kill time while you're waiting on the reload on Hestia.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be getting those crits. He did this just crit for 15-12. He's doing all right. He's doing okay. Stand in the middle. Yeah, why not? You got all the health to spend when you're on 2 DDs. There's no threat whatsoever.
Yeah, no threat to these guys yet in terms of health and making sure that they actually clean up the run. Looks like Krasher is able to finish with a time of 22:25, almost a full 3 minutes behind Wrist's finish there. But I mean, that's not a whole lot, especially in terms of when it comes to the sack RNG.
Yeah, look, it's very possible that, you know, the switch gets flipped and then one person gets 2 and the other person gets a 5-chamber sack. So early days, we're just coming up to the halfway point of the race. For those just joining in.
2 extra dashes for Wrist there out of the mid shop in Tartarus. That's going to be a big pickup for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Can be a little bit dicey fighting the Doomstone with the fist because you're probably going to take some sort of damage from the beams. But you know what? It doesn't matter. That's a very quick kill on the Doomstone.
Very nice fight there.
And picking up
he is going to grab the special. That's going to be that's going to help him serve a little bit more damage when he charges up the Demeter aspect here. And for those of you that don't know, the Demeter aspect on the fist means that after attacking, I'm going to have to remember, is it 12 times you can use your special and it hits for 5 times at once.
Yeah, it can be a real big chunky damage. Obviously, you do float in the air quite a bit during that, so you're a little bit vulnerable to damage, but taking a little bit of damage, if that happens in this case, is not a big deal for these experienced runners that typically don't lose that much health because of good positioning. The more you play this game, the more you know the attack patterns of the enemies, making it easier to just dash through and not get chunked.
I think it's safe to say that the Fist is probably going to be their fastest runs tonight here, just because the Fist, just as a melee weapon, can just kill enemies so fast, and if they're able to grab just some kind of extra movement, then it's going to be a big deal.
Absolutely right.
Wrist choosing not to gift boldly. Unfortunately, the rest of his run is now cursed, and I hope he's praying secretly under his breath right now.
I have to say my favorite movie quote of all time here. Disappointed! So we're going to the Meg fight here for Wrist, throwing in a couple of Bloodstones just to increase that damage that he does apply with the debuff. Going down pretty quickly, Privilege Status is applied very briefly there, but when it does, it's chunking. Going into the quick final phase here. This is a pretty quick Meg fight.
Yeah, he was able to grab Explosive Upper, which means that his Dash Upper ability deals 50% more damage and explodes in an AoE effect around enemies. And that's a pretty nice big increase for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrist definitely showing he knows how to build what he wants with his experience with the fists. I think we'll ask him a bit later, but I wouldn't be surprised if he says it's his favorite weapon, his preferred weapon of choice. I know he's been doing a lot of high heat runs with fists lately.
Grabbing Athena's keepsake, a strategy we've seen a lot tonight here, but it's just so versatile, you know, not just in terms of the builds, but just for the safety too. So that's looks like he is looking for that Merciful End build. Meantime, Krasher was able to pick up Artemis's dash here in Tartarus still, which isn't a bad pickup here. Dash striking with the fists can be quite strong, and especially if he's able to power up that dash upper ability, that does apply to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely right. So what are we going to get for Dionysus? Strong Drink is chosen. Still would like to see a nice call pickup from either of these to be a very nice damage increase overall.
Yeah, Dio's Call is definitely one of the strongest if that's all you get from him.
Yeah, you know, and I would have been tempted to reroll instead of taking the Strong Drink, just hoping for that Dio Call in that case.
It's definitely tempting. I mean, he's Tartarus, it's early, you know, you're guaranteed to get at least 4 drinks from a fountain, and then never mind whatever you see in the middle of the zone. So not a bad pickup, but yeah, it could have gone other ways too.
Absolutely. Hey, I'd have to say that Krasher just killed the Doomstone in faster fashion than Wrist did, and Wrist's was fast. So
yeah,
look, there could be some catch-up potential. I'd like to see how it goes. On the
two different strategies here between the Merciful End route and basically the critical attack route here. And Krasher was able to grab Battle Rage from that mini boss from Ares, which means that after killing an enemy, he deals, I think it's over 200% more damage on his next hit, which is going to be very nice for him.
Absolutely.
Let's see if Krasher does the right thing here, and he absolutely does. The mad lad.
Yep. He's an angry young man, and he picks up the Charon's Obol, sorry, which is pretty much the only selection you ever do when you're doing a speedrun from Sisyphus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't think of any instance where you would have to pick up health there. So I'd like to say that Crasher now has a blessed run, but he's not quite there yet because he hasn't actually shown us what Boldy gave him. So let's hope that we can get a sight of that soon.
Yeah, I know. I do want to see that. He did pick up special... sorry, he did pick up... what did he just pick up? He picked up a heart, which I thought was an interesting tech. You know, just play it safe allows you to go a little bit more face first, not worry about damage. So I'm fine with that decision.
Crasher's going for a slightly safer play. I mean, Wriste is still playing with that high confidence on, so Wriste is going way more risky, really, than Crasher is here. But Crasher's also going for sort of a different build, doesn't have that crutch like Wriste does, so that might explain some of it.
Yeah, absolutely. My man Spoonman is in the chat correcting me. That was a TV quote, not a movie quote. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you
it
soon.
Looks like he picked up support fire from Artemis in that shop. That's what
That's what it was, yeah. And I think that's a great move. You're just attacking so rapidly and throwing out so many attacks and specials. Double duo choice, picking them up the merciful end for Wriste. That's going to be big. That's what he was looking for this whole build, right? So.
Yep, and it looks like he was emulating to us that it was a spicy tomato that he just picked up there, able to get it right before the Lurny fight. So it looks like his build is basically complete, and it might be tough for Crasher to catch up to this, honestly, at least on this run.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. Time will tell. These learning heads, though, are going down pretty quickly for Wriste, so it's going to be hard to go down. Yeah, how can you take down heads too much quicker? Look at this damage output from Wriste right now.
Yeah, I think the next thing he's going to be looking for is maybe grabbing another Athena boon, Blinding Flash before that exposed curse debuff, and that way you can apply privilege status a bit more easily than even bothering with the special. This is the point where you kind of ignore the aspect almost a little bit, and you just kind of go full-on attack and dash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, that Demeter's special, hitting for 5, doing such juicy hits, big damage, and so satisfying to play. What a great aspect design. Hats off to Supergiant for that one.
Yeah, we definitely like our burst damage, that's for sure. So Demeter fits right in with these speed runs, and I kind of like that you were able to set it up, Jerds, where both races they use these weapon aspects that aren't used very often at all in speed runs, and then they had one right in the middle that is so common and so prolific.
Absolutely, yeah. That was the method to the madness of the selection, and I'll be continuing that theme probably throughout the Hermes Cup.
Looks like Crasher got stuck on the death barge of slowness, unfortunately, down in Asphodel, so he's not catching any breaks there. And if I remember correctly, Wriste was able to grab these Mega Gorgon mini boss in Asphodel, so he was saving time there. The lead has only been extended for Wriste thus far this run, so unfortunately Crasher's going to need some of this RNG back on his side.
Yeah, spending 1 then 2 rerolls to get 3 sets of options and choose Aphrodite's Aid, which will be good to save up and then do a chunk of damage every now and then. That is a damage increase overall for Crasher, so good stuff.
It's not too bad, but probably not exactly what he's looking for. I wonder if he was just looking for the attack there just as something else.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, gambling at Eurydice, and it paying off with that heroic special Artemis now. He is a man of the people by choosing that gamble, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to admit, even when it's not always the wisest choice, I find myself often just gambling out of, I don't know, addiction, bad habit. It's good to see when it pays off.
Oh, it's showing.
Yeah, but that's going to be some juicy specials from Krashercorr now.
I think, interestingly, I think Wriste was just grabbed, if I remember right, parting shot in the shop up in Elysium as he enters the Bolominos fight.
Okay, let's watch that Bull of Minos fight right now. Already down to half health. Applying that privilege status just does so much work. And yep, that's that chamber done already.
Wow, already done with that. So Wriste about halfway through Elysium. Meanwhile, Crasher still has to finish up Asphodel at the Lurny fight.
So let's see how quickly he can take down Lurny and the heads. Pretty quick damage for that first phase there. Choosing not to use Meg just yet. I'm sure he's got a tactical choice for that Meg. These heads probably going down faster when using the attack.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some really nice damage coming out of Krasher. It's a bit unfortunate that he has to use the special as much as he does here, because the special on the fist can really bog you down, get you locked in that animation, and that's probably what gives Wriste a slight edge in terms of builds here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he does. I think in terms of just numbers, he's pulling the same numbers, possibly even better. But it's just the animations that's going to keep him from catching up.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Let's see, will he throw down that Aphrodite full 8? I don't think it'll get full bar.
He's not even going to get there. It looks this Lernie's going to be dead way before that.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that big chunk of damage right there at the end.
That's interesting, isn't it? Let's see how many times that Aphrodite's 8 at full will actually be used this run. Might be only be twice or something.
I think not having that crutch on Krasher's side is showing right now. He's down 2 Death Defiances. He probably wouldn't mind grabbing one here from him as well if he's able to.
A nice pickup for Krasher there. It's picking up the attack jerky. That'll do him well for the catch-up mission that he's now on. Wriste going off, really. He's just dashing all over the place. I think he feels like he's in the zone. You can see the calm in his eyes. And re-rolling, not choosing Urge to Kill, but here it'll be purple Urge to Kill.
Wow, really turning down your favorite boon there twice even,
yes,
Jerds.
That's true.
Shocker, to say the least. Interestingly, he went for this trial when you think about it in terms of time, a trial is going to be rather lengthy just because you have to click through 2 boon options and listen to some dialogue between the gods. And then he gets punished for making that choice because he gets Thanatos in the very next room.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the thinking being, like you probably feel like if you're behind, you need power to, you already feel like you're playing at maximum speed. You're making the right decisions. What more can you do? Get more power from the game. And that room obviously offers 2 boons instead of 1. So maybe it was a choice of desperation. Not sure.
He definitely has the damage that he needs here because he's cleaning up these Thanatos enemies very quickly. Thanatos having killed only 1 enemy. Hopefully Thanatos just bows his head in shame and disappears for the rest of the night after this then.
These guys can be lucky. Thanatos rooms do, like they pause the in-game timer, but we don't care about that because this is a race in real time. So that doesn't really help him. But yep, the Thanatos room is done for this run for Wriste. So it'll be smooth sailing from here, picking up the shop. That's a nice quick chamber for him there.
Looks like it's the final shop even, so he's able to enter into the heroes fight here, and grabbing Expose right at the end there is going to be clutch, really applying that privilege status super easily now. He doesn't even have to use that special anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him use it.
Oh, look, keeping calm though, even though he only hit the 1 enemy with Meg again, 2nd time in a row. Unfortunate. But regardless of that, look at the damage.
Wow.
He's just in there. He's just throwing fists and dashing through. Minotaur's already down. Theseus going down. Wriste going off like a frog in his sock. That's a fast heroes kill.
That Doom damage dealing 344 for every single hit. If you look at his in-game time up there, he's only at a 717 in-game time. That is really an amazing time, actually, in terms of in-game.
Yeah, very, very good for a random seed to make it work for you, Showing real skill. In the meantime, we got Krashercorr fighting against the Bull of Minos here. Not a bad room. You can clear it quickly, and it can lead for a faster heroes fight. And that room is done. So probably slightly slower, just by my feel, against how Wriste did against the Bull when he fought him as mini-boss. But we'll see. What is this boon that he's going to pick up here?
Ooh, he's got an epic attack in front of him, but ooh, he's thinking about it. Okay. I'm kind of glad he ended up taking that, because at this point, what else can you really hope for? I think that's a very strong boon still at this point. It's going to help him out.
Exactly right. Look, I think pretty much the majority of your damage is attack, or maybe half or something. I'd like to know the maths exactly, because they're not always hitting on the exact 12th hit for that Demeter combo. So the majority of the meat that they're throwing out there is going to be these punches. So you need that attack upgrade. It's kind of incredible he's made it this far into Biome 3 without an attack boon. So you're right, Wriste, I like the decision. Sorry, you're right, Haelian, I like the decision. You got to get something on that attack.
Throwing a palm on the special there. Unfortunately for him, it's just a bit hard to compete with Merciful End when that's your competition here. There's not a whole lot that beats it. And then Wriste here was able to defeat the tiny vermin miraculously. I don't know how he did it. Not being known for being very good against him.
Yeah, I feel like Wriste is in the zone right now. Just pumping out those dashes without even a second thought. I do want to take note. I like to think that for Krashercorr, he did pick up that epic support fire a little while ago, and I think it's doing a little bit of work.
You've definitely seen those arrows get some hits. You know, it's just kind of nice indirect damage that you can get on enemies here and there.
The thing I love about support fire is, you know, you can actually leave enemies on low health and let the move on to the next enemy, and the support fire will finish off that enemy for you. So you actually can save a bit of time. That happens inadvertently, even if you're not doing it intentionally sometimes. So
especially with the fist here, you get so many hits, and really, that's definitely going to serve.
Yeah, serve him well. So Wriste not getting the sack room just yet.
Nope, he's going to have to take at least a third chamber here. Yeah, if it goes right for Krasher, he's going to have to take a lot more than just 3 even.
So what's your personal opinion on Demeter aspect for Fist here, Haelian? How would you build it if you were going for any speed run, like the fastest possible finish?
I mean, normally, so I do a category called all weapon speedrun, where you just play all 6 weapons in a row, and I do use Demeter aspect. I don't usually gamble on getting Merciful End, though, because it's so difficult to do, and that just goes to show that Wriste was really gambling it all here by just hoping that he gets that boon, because without it, it's pretty difficult. So builds I use probably look much more similar to what Krasher has going here.
Yeah, I'd probably go for something that... I mean, depends if you're trying to apply the privilege status or not, I guess. So we got 2 boss fights happening in a row here. Just dropping down to Crash real quick. I want to see how quickly he can finish off these heroes fights. Probably not as quick as what Wriste was doing, I'd have to say.
Well, it's definitely not bad at all, though. He's getting them down pretty quick.
In the meantime, we got Wriste fighting Hades and chunking down Hades quite quickly there. Already down to 1/3 in phase 1, whilst Wriste just finishing off the heroes fight now. So there is going to be a gap leading into race 3 as Wriste finishes it off.
Wriste almost a full biome ahead here. It's really quite a staggering lead that he has at this moment, but it still could go anywhere from this point on. You never know what can happen in this 3rd run.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess Crash is kind of crossing his fingers here, hoping for a Wriste somehow to throw the run as well. I don't think it's going to happen. He's a very mature, calm gamer. Someone that's well practiced in resilience from multiple high heat runs in his experience. So Wriste finishing it up there, and we've got a Demeter.
Very respectable time.
Yeah, we got a Demeter finish. What was the in-game time there? We got 9 minutes 30.
32 seconds, I think. Wow.
Very good. Very good. And then 40 minutes in real time there, finishing off the second of 3 weapons in this 3-weapon race.
So next up for Wriste is he's going to have to put on Poseidon's sword here, which basically means that he's probably going to be going for some kind of cast build. It could be very interesting which one he goes for. This is one of those ones where I think it could kind of go in almost any direction. Almost every cast is pretty viable in terms of speed here, I'd say, with this aspect. What do you think, Jerds?
Yeah, look, I think so. Look, I really love to see Crush Shot comboing out with Snowburst for that instant privilege status. But I do know that Wriste... Was it Wriste or... No, actually, sorry, it was Vorime, but I think Wriste maybe as well was playing a little bit with it. Crush Shot not feeling reliable. Sometimes the hitbox doesn't actually hit even though you're at point blank. So every other cast is probably a good option. Tiny Vermin going down. Oh, getting chunked pretty quickly right at the end there. So that'll be good.
Unfortunately, Krasher got cursed with the Tiny Vermin as well. Wriste had also gotten it too, so... He's still just praying for that 2-path stack here, but that Vermin is going to cost him a little bit of time. Taking the hammer from the 2nd path and sticks here, hoping to get something that'll help him out. It's kind of too bad he wasn't able to get that hammer any sooner.
The only cast I probably would shy away from, as much as I love it, might be Trippy Shot, being, it takes a while for that lob distance to land. You can land it on spawning enemies just as well as anything else, but... you're not always fighting spawning enemies, right? So I'd probably avoid that one. But going for the Athena there, I think that's a pretty wise choice, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if it's a solid, very high damage cast boon there. So it has a burst. It has a little bit of AoE. You know, it kind of explodes on impact, can hit a couple of enemies around it. But it's kind of slow. It does deflect also. It has sort of a heavy weight to it. So it's an interesting choice, and I think it could pay off for him because we're seeing some big chunky damage already.
Yeah, absolutely. Krashercorr picking up clean kill and explosive upper coming into the Hades fight, which we're about to watch on the big screen now. Very interested to see how fast Hades can get chunked in this one.
Crasher was able to get the path, the 2-path sack in sticks there, so that should make up a little bit of time for him over Wriste there. So he's going to need that kind of luck to get any further along.
Absolutely right. He'll be very happy with that. Did he not big output of damage as I was kind of hoping for. Let's see though.
Hopefully he's able to. It looks like he is kind of purposely charging the special and trying to get those five hits in at once.
Yeah.
You see those crits for 640 is definitely not a small amount.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we said earlier, it's just so hard to compete with the Merciful End, you know. Ooh, big greater call there, and he got it.
Yeah, nice. It looked a bit messy. I wasn't sure if it was going to hit or not, and it did. There's that, you know, player's instincts coming in.
Yep.
Look, the majority of his damage is chunks when he hits that special. You can see the hit bar going down at the top there. That is so satisfying. Bada bada boom. Losing Death Defiance, not a big deal. You got health to play with at this point.
Yep. He's probably hoping to charge up this 8 a little bit more too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the 8 will hit full by the end.
Yeah,
probably
might be a bit too late for that.
Yeah, it'll be close. Yeah, not coming through, so kind of doesn't matter. And that finishes off Hades for the second run. Meaning that his Demeter Fist time ends him at 44 minutes 32 with an in-game time of 12:24. Very, very respectable for a random seed run as well.
Absolutely.
And with that...
so it looks like Wriste is almost a solid 3 or 4 minutes ahead here. Wriste stepping into Sisyphus's chambers here, and is he going to do the right thing? He's going to go back for that gold pot, and he's going to deny Boldy again. We're going to need some riots in chat right about now for the hypocrisy and the terrible shame that Wriste has brought upon this channel.
I mean, that's just not respectable, right? I mean, even as a speedrunning move, you could be getting, you know, like 6% movement speed or something like that for what is really just a few seconds.
But I think the important thing here, Jerds, is Boldy provides a lot more than just stats, and he provides peace of mind.
Yes, very wise words. So picking up the Chaos Gate there for Wriste, probably hoping for a cast-related boon. Is that a reroll? Yeah, rerolls it, and no more cast-related boons on the reroll. Would you reroll again? No, he decides just to go forth and conquer. So we've got Krasher just picking up the Artemis and getting a common true shot. He's going to be a little bit dirty about that, probably hoping for, you know, something at rare or epic.
Probably not exactly what he was hoping for here, but honestly, the Artemis cast is just so true for any reason, even at common rarity. And honestly, this could make a difference versus Wriste here, who has already entered the Fury fight.
Absolutely right. Look, I do love the Artemis potential. You can down bosses so quickly. Unfortunately, the Hydra skip is no longer a thing. You can't do boss skipping in this update, but it's still going to do him well. Just that tracking, the fact that it does homing, it actually adds a lot to the power of the cast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it moves faster. It can deal just as much damage, probably, you know. So I think it does have quite a bit behind it. Not to mention, the rest of Artemis's boons can really help cast quite a bit more, too.
Absolutely. So Krasher choosing to reroll there. Similar sort of deal with the options here, actually.
Yeah, nothing great here. Ends up just taking some extra attack damage there just because he doesn't want to spend any more rerolls, probably.
Absolutely. And Krasher picking up the Nectar Room because that's going to provide a free POM upgrade when he exits.
Forgotten Kane in chat pointing out that he got another common boon here. I think the reasoning is actually because Krasher is choosing to take the other side of the mirror for boon rarity, so instead he's choosing extra duos and extra gold leaf rooms, and that's why he's getting some lesser quality boons. Hopefully that gamble can pay off for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping for him too. I have to say, if I was going to be racing the Hermes Cup, I'd be going the other way around though. Because the majority of your damage is going to be coming from, for the majority of the run, coming from, you know, your base attack, your special, your cast, and whatever you're comboing out with. So you really want that to be strong. Having said that, this Doomstone did go down pretty quickly, and he picks up a very early Heart Rend in Tartarus there.
Wow, interesting there too. It's an interesting boon because it sounds really good, but it possibly is not as good as it sounds here, just because this cast only has a 10% chance to crit. You know, it's just not going to be critically striking that often. Then you also have to have the enemies weakened, so it looks great, but I'm not certain it suits that well with the Artemis cast, honestly. Ooh,
the prayers have been answered.
The right thing either.
Yeah, boldly has been offered. Will he show us what the boon is? We might be lucky.
Not this time. It's almost a blessed run, but at least it's not as cursed as Wriste run here.
So everything's in Krasher's favor at this point on the catch-up, but will it be enough? That's the question. So we got Wriste here entering into the Mega Gorgon fight and Skull Crusher.
It looks like Wriste is very well teamed up to get Lightning Phalanx, which is the duo boon between Athena's cast and Zeus, which makes that cast bounce between several enemies. And let's see if he can grab it here. Doesn't look like he gets it yet. He's going to roll it, and he gets it.
Well, this is going to be good. I'm going to enjoy watching this. Love Lightning Phalanx. Really, really cool boon.
Really fun boon to use, you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of nice to have that effect on something else other than Zeus's cast, which is a pretty powerful effect here. I think the one downside of though is because Athena's cast is so slow moving, it's not always going to work that great. I wonder if it's even going to be worth going for here for Wriste, but we'll have to see.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got Krasher coming down into finishing off the biome now. He's not going to be happy with this boss random selection here, being the slowest Tisiphone, just because she does the phasing between and closing the room, just takes out that additional bit of few seconds and time each time that happens. So, I mean, Haelian, you'd probably know the numbers off the top of your head, but how fast would... I'm putting you on the spot here, buddy. No pressure. But, I mean, how many seconds would you say is longer a Tisiphone fight than...
Let's see. I usually rely on the more knowledgeable chatters to tell me these things off the cuff. The last I remember was somewhere between 4 and 8 seconds. I think Kane might actually be able to let us know in chat. He's a very prolific router, and it's been very helpful for the speedrunning community.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I'd probably guess it'd be about 3 seconds-ish per phase, and that happens 3 times, so maybe about 9 seconds, plus minus a few or whatever.
The biggest discrepancy is definitely in Asphodel, where that death bar is going to cost you at the minimum of 13 seconds versus the Mega Gorgon fight.
Oh, and a big cast damage, 50% pickup for Wriste
wow.
from the shop. So I'll tell you what, that's going to be really, really huge with those phalanxes bouncing around as he comes into the Loney fight now.
Upgrading that cast again. He's going to have some really chunky casts right about now. So it looks like as Krasher is entering Asphodel, Wriste is almost exiting, but it looks like a little bit of time has been made up by Krasher, if I were to guess here.
Yeah, I would say so too. You know, he, at one point he was almost a full biome behind, but he's definitely not a full biome right now.
Nope.
Picking up was that Divine Dash I just saw for...
That was Divine Dash yet again, showing up in almost every single run today, but
yeah,
that just goes to show how powerful of a boon it is that has so many good duos that link it all together.
Yeah, very well sought after. Beautiful for speedrunning, makes you so safe, lets you proc while you're all over the enemies. Okay, so these Hydra heads are going down pretty quickly. Good to see a couple of bounces happening there. Not as many as would have liked, but that might just be a distancing thing between the heads at that point.
kind of interesting because you see these casts sometimes disappearing, and then he just grabs them really quickly. Not even an issue for him. But he's really hoping for some other cast builds here, something from Hermes especially, I'm sure. I wonder what he's going to go for here, because there's so many more things he could try to get for the cast, but it's kind of difficult to get at this point. And it looks like Krasher just picked up a flurry cast from the shop in Asphodel. It might have been only 20%, but even 20% can make a pretty big difference.
Yeah, that's a big move. And it's not just the fact that it's 20%, but the fact that you can not lose time between clicks as well, because it's automated just by hitting. And picking up the parting shot there too. Cast doing backstab bonus, 25% damage. That's nice if you can set it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a straight 25% damage increase, I think, on his cast there, if I remember correctly. And honestly, so he's looking for some more Athena boons right now. He's going to want that exposed. He probably still wants Deadly Reversal. There's so many things that he's going to need now.
Absolutely. Look, both of these guys still running with the default 3 casts. I'd love to see Chaos grant an additional cast. Greatest Reflex being picked up. There for Wrist. So very, like, look at him. You can see him on camera.
He looked very happy to have picked up that Greater Recall. In fact, in practice earlier, we were noting how often he's somehow able to get that boon, despite most players almost never seeing it. It's really going to work amazing for him here. He doesn't have to worry about picking up those casts anymore now. They just come right back to him.
And it's business time straight away. 1 second after picking up the golden boon there, with a very calm face from Wrist. And picking up the parting shot as well.
Oh, also grabbing it. Works really well with Athena's cast here. I don't think he's gotten that exposed boon from her yet, but still, it's going to be a nice increase already.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Krasher coming up to the learning fight now. Nothing to buy from the shop. There was a hammer there, but you don't need it with cast run with Poseidon's sword at all. In fact, you don't want it.
That's something you usually want to waste your time and money on.
Something I haven't seen, Mr. Haelian, good sir, with these runs is no one's running EM to get a different Hydra layout. What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting. It is something that we've tested plenty, I'd say, in a sense, but we never really came to a conclusion. It's sort of a risky play. So the idea is you put on extreme measures too, and you get that different room layout on the Hydra fight here that makes those small heads spawn closer together, and hopefully they die faster. But like we said, it's risky. You got lava everywhere and everything, and in the race format, it might not be ideal for what is probably only a couple seconds saved generally. What do you think about it, Jerds?
Well, the risk being the potential more damage that you could take. What's the trade-off balancing here?
I guess that would be the risk. I'd say there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. So they recently added so that the Fury fight now has more health too when you put on extreme measures. So you'd have to take more health from the Furies for it.
Right. Yes. So if that's the case, then it probably kind of balances out in terms of value, because you don't necessarily have a very strong build, going into the Fury fight. So every hit point counts.
Mm-hmm.
Wrist finishing off the bullfight there, which will be good going to the heroes fight, whilst Krasher was doing the learning fight.
Wrist actually has a very strong cast build, I gotta say. He's got that beautiful lightning flanks. He's got greater recall. He's got parting shot. He has like so many elements that are just gonna help him so much here. He really has everything, practically everything he needs. Anything else he gets is gonna be icing, I'd say, at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So Krasher now entering Elysium here. So how much of a differential have we got? Can we see? So we got a finish of Asphodel by Wrist on 52 minutes and 6 seconds there, where it was 55-21 for Krasher. Okay. So we got 3 minutes and 15-ish seconds there.
I mean, it's all going to come down to that sack. I mean, what happens in Elysium can be pretty troublesome, too, for the players. And nothing too great happening for Wrist here. I don't think he's seen Patroclus yet or a Fountain Room. We haven't seen too many Fountain Rooms at all for these two players. So it hasn't been as quick as they want, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's been a while since I've actually got to play Hades, since I've been setting up this race stream and the event. And I'm looking forward to, after a break from the stream, I'm going to go in straight to playing some, going for that lightning phalanx. That looks like a heap of fun.
You caught the bug now. Oh, it looks like Wriste does have exposed there, but yeah, I can hear you. Lightning phalanx is definitely just a really fun boon. You know, it's not going to be anything game breaking, but it's just so much fun to throw those casts out there and watch them clink between each enemy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Wriste coming up to the heroes fight now. Opening up with the Meg. Does he hit both? No, still only hits one 3 times in a row.
That is 3 Meg misses, I think, right? So
yeah.
Wriste is going to have to bow his head in shame later over the Meg misses.
Having said that,
he's not going to be he's not going to be invited to the bedroom with Meg when he finishes this run, I don't think.
That's such a rare occurrence as it is. Oh man, poor Wriste. But he'll be fine because he's going to be the winner of race 1, right? He's looking really, really strong at this point. No,
it's gonna be tough. I think
it's too early to predict.
It's gonna be tough for Krasher, that's for sure. He's got things set up for him in not a great fashion. But this sack RNG could really change it. Like we said, it's a little over 3 minutes. These paths can take a couple minutes each sometimes, you know, depending on what you get. So yeah, you never know.
All right, well, we're coming down to judgment time as Wriste enters Styx. And we'll see how many chambers it takes for him to get the sack. I'm pretty sure he'll be clearing each of those rooms very, very quickly. Some of the rooms are quite small, and the amount of space that Athena cast takes up in the room is quite nice, especially if it's going to be bouncing around. As we can see there, one of them hitting for 972, and that's just one of the casts that can bounce.
I'm not so certain he was ever able to grab Flurry cast here, so he's a bit slow at getting those casts out there. Not much he can do about it, though. I'm sure that's something he would have liked to have gotten. Could be a problem for when he faces rooms with many small enemies.
Pretty much each cast hitting for either 500 or 1,000. I think he's in
that backstab damage really doing plenty here for him, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Dropping a Meg here against the mini-boss fight makes sense to do. Very
quick fight there for him. Not the best mini-boss that you want here, since it generally you do get enemy spawns no matter how fast you kill the mini-boss. So you prefer something else.
Yeah, absolutely. And Krasher opening up against the Asterius mini-boss fight with a Meg attack and deploying that damage. A reasonable clear time probably for this bullfight.
Oh, he's got some misses from those casts. They just clinked on the bottom wall there, unfortunately for him, causing him to waste a little bit of time.
Yep.
He must have picked up Poseidon's attack boon at some point because he's got that on his arsenal now. He's got a very colorful boon set on the left side.
And he'll be disappointed to hear, if he's listening through the stream, that Wriste, who's very happy to hear and see, picking up the 2-chamber sack. So he's going straight for gold here as he enters the Hades fight. And doing it!
Oh my goodness!
Look at this. Look,
I can't believe it. The mad lad.
Yeah, he's a mad lad. Mega props.
Wriste has truly deserved and earned these crutches today, let me just say. Wriste, they'll be waiting for you here later tonight. Thank you for doing what God has asked us to.
That's gold. Thank you, good sir. It's all in good spirit. Okay, so let's see how quickly he can finish off this Hades fight. We're just coming up to the hour, clocking over an hour now for 3. So that's a faster time to finish that we're looking at than we did at the test stream a few days ago.
Way faster, much faster.
Look, and it's just so safe to point blank shoot these giant deflecting phalanx casts at Hades.
He's getting these huge chunks out of him, and he was able to grab Athena's dash one more time here just to make sure. I mean, he's just got everything going on here. It's no contest really at this point. Looks like this build has paid off for him.
Yep, it's a good move. I'm glad to see it pay off. In the meantime, we've got Krasher downstairs, hitting Theseus only with the Meg. And I guess technically one behind at this point since they're both halfway through the boss fights here. Okay, phase 1 is down.
Making easy work here. He's got a full call waiting for the second phase of Hades here too. There it goes. Lord Zeus is upon us.
Yeah, looking good. Is that level 1 aid? I think so. So decent damage for sure. Not as big as it could be. Either way, looking really strong. No one cares about these 360 beams. No one cares.
Zeus's aid is one of those ones that's just so easy to take just because it works. It just works much better than some others in some ways. You know, you don't have to worry too hard about it. And Wriste finally finishing off 1 hour, 2 minutes, 28 seconds, 75 milliseconds. Congrats to Wriste for winning this bracket of the Hermes Cup.
Yeah, very, very good. Let's see some mad cheers in chat for our People's Champion Wriste. And now
we definitely need some second best emotes and some crutch emotes in the chat right now to congratulate Wriste on his win.
Yeah. As much sass is better. Look, we're all friendly here in the community. Don't sweat it. No one's going to take offense whatsoever. So we got Krasher here. He's finishing off Styx now, entering the first tunnel. A couple of random sword swings amongst all that.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, it looks like he's really trying to make use of this Poseidon attack here in these small Styx chambers, which I think is actually a very good move, because these small Styx chambers do not do well for enemies when you have Poseidon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it can be a little bit harder in these. I've run this plenty of times while attempting speedruns with Artemis Cast, and it's... you got to be careful not to hit these middle random pillars that are in these different configurations of these rooms, right?
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit accurate, even if there is a bit of tracking and homing. So using the final meg.
Wow.
Very quick. Beautiful.
Very quick.
Exit wounds.
Grabbing that exit wounds. I don't know if that legendary is still possible. He got a lot of buffs from the Charon well there, because he has 100% extra cast damage right now. He was able to increase the rarity of his cast to rare at some point. He must have gotten that from Eurydice. So he's actually got a really powerful build right now, Krasher.
Bit of a tech choice there. He's chosen for to go against an elite chamber choice there, meaning we suspect that that's going to increase the chance of the two chamber sack, the 2 sack, right? Is that your experience, Haelian? Is that how that works? You choose 2 elite tunnel reward paths, and you have a better chance?
Generally, the idea is that, unfortunately, no, there is nothing that can actually increase your chances. The reason why you want to do those 2 mini bosses right in a row is just in case you don't get the sack, actually, because the mini boss chambers, especially when you got big bursty builds like this, just take so much less time than those enemy chambers where you have to wait for everything to spawn.
Yeah, I do remember that was being theory crafted and discussed at one point. For folks who don't know, the speedrunning community does have a Discord, so come on along and join, and you'll see some good discussion, as well as be up to date with, you know, what's the latest meta, what are people working on, make some friends and all that sort of stuff too. That'll be linked later on in the stream, and you can find also the link just via speedrun.com/Hades there. So here we go with Krasher going into the final fight of this race and today's stream. Unfortunate quick disappearance from Hades. Does add some time, but look at these big numbers.
Really big numbers here.
Beautiful. He's got to be happy with that.
So Krasher was able to grab the sack on the second pass. That would have made him up a little bit of time here. And he was able to, and just by doing that, he's able to keep these 2 buffs he got from a Well of Charon that increases cast damage by 50% each. That's huge. He also has 4 casts. So he's got a really powerful build here. It's just unfortunate that it's so difficult to grab that Artemis Legendary for those extra casts now.
Yeah, absolutely. But either way, all boons are said and done. It's just about killing Hades off as fast as possible. Is that no risk of dying here? So might as well just get into his face.
Very, very quick fight here. We got a question from Preston Smith in chat. He's asking about a Crystal Beam meta, and I'm going to say absolutely that is the new meta in my house, that's for sure.
Look, this was Poseidon. This was Poseidon cast. Oh, that's my bad accent for you for today. I'll never do it again. I apologize. So, like, if you're going to be doing a cast build, it could have been Crystal Beam. They had the choice there. But anyway, congratulations to Krashercorr finishing it off there with a time of 106. 36.
Amazing time still, you know, for a 3-weapon run, and two of those weapons are not really ideal for speed running. Really great time. Huge congrats to Wrist. Just an amazing display by both of these guys and all 4 of the runners that we had here today, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good performances all around. Hey, why don't we get these guys back on stream, back on mic, and we'll have a bit of a powwow. So, Wrist.
Let's just hope they haven't had too much to drink while they were in the middle of these runs this time, though.
Yeah, I know. Things could get a bit loose pretty quickly, especially with these boys. But I didn't see anyone taking a drink. Wrist was just way too focused, and he had the calm eyes on cam, we could see. Hey, Wrist, are you there?
I'm not drink your fish.
What was that about, you doing a fish in the middle of a race?
Hey, listen, the people wanted the fish. I give them the fish.
Yes,
you know why? Because I am the people's gamer. People's gamer. People want the fish, I give them the fish. That's all I can say.
Very epico. And congratulations on your win. You finished off there with a much faster time than during the test stream. 1 hour and 2 minutes, 28 seconds. Yeah, why don't you walk us through it?
Well, you see, I started by picking Artemis, and I did the big... Sorry, that was my Haelian impression. It comes out sometimes.
Oh my goodness, I've never been so offended in my life.
Truthfully,
so much disrespect.
I mean, it's... obviously, Artemis is the correct choice with Hestia. I didn't watch Krasher play alongside me, but I'm willing to bet he picked that too. And from there, it was just a matter of like getting Deadly Reversal. The backstab damage is really good, which is why I was aiming for Deadly Reversal over Heartrend, mainly because because all of your damage is in that one big shot, so it's really easy to get all of that power into one big multiplier: the backstab, the crits. And with Demeter, since I really suck with Demeter, I figured the best move to do was not play Demeter and instead play Merciful End, which ended up working out way better than I could have possibly hoped.
Yeah, it was really fast.
I was mind blown. The 2 dashes at the beginning was really clutch. That probably gave me the edge. That just, it wasn't even fair. And for the last one, the lightning phalanx, which I wasn't really sure how it would work out. I didn't get the flurry cast, but I did get the greater recall, which I understand is like super common and easy to get for everyone who plays cast builds. So that wasn't too remarkable. But I did get the lightning phalanx, which is one of the rarest boons in the game, and Haelian never plays it, and he should play it because, yeah.
Very good. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I think all of those choices were pretty strong. It was really good to see lightning phalanx come through. And in comparison to Krashercorr, how was your strategy? Welcome back, buddy.
Hello.
Hello.
I think my strategy was to not get any free rooms. I'm actually really disappointed because I wanted to get Karen on my fist run, but Karen showed up in Tartarus where it really would have lost time. And at that point, Wrist hadn't gotten Merciful End yet, so I hadn't given up yet. But once he got it, I was like, oh, I should have just gone back and done it. I couldn't give the people what they wanted, which was the Charon fight. And
well, you did the next best thing, Krasher, is that you gifted Boldy where Wrist absolutely choose to abuse Boldy, and I believe he is calling Child Services right now to report him. So I think you did the right thing there.
Child Protective Services.
Krasher, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How many Thanatoses did you get?
I think I got 2.
Ooh, okay. I got 3. I got him in every run.
Well, just bring up the stats on screen.
It doesn't really matter when you have Merciful End.
I can't help but point out the cursed runs that you had, Wrist, purely because of refusing to gift Boldy.
I think they were pretty blessed. I think not gifting Boldy was the correct choice in that regard.
No, that's
the routing required me to not gift Boldy. Okay, that was the only way.
Oh, we knew we should give him that seed too early.
We were actually surprisingly close. It felt like I got no rooms, but I apparently got a lot.
Apologies there. I did show the match 1 stats, race 1 stats before, but that's race 2 now. You guys were correct. 3 Than rooms for Wrist versus 2 for Krasher. Almost even on the Chaos rooms there, 4 versus 5.
Quite even in terms of free rooms, and also the SAC RNG was actually very even for that.
Yeah, so that's great to see in terms of RNG spreading out quite well across 3 runs there. And you know what? It's 4 minutes between 2 people across an hour is not a huge difference either. So very well done by both races here.
You can see Krasher actually kept up on the 3rd run there, not really losing any time. In fact, actually gaining a tiny bit of time. It was really the first run with the rail that caused the most issues, it looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was not loving the rail run, but I like got a lot of duo boons I was not expecting or trying to.
That's a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
I got Merciful End on my Hestia run.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
My Demeter run, I think, has actually had the worst RNG. I think people are saying it might be really good, but I did not get what I needed, which was unfortunately Explosive Upper, which I didn't get till the end, and then I couldn't get the attack boon that I wanted, or any attack boon until like Elysium, which is a problem.
So what's next for you guys? Wrist, will you be rolling on, or Krashercorr, sorry about the typo there. Will you be rolling on to stream after this? Either of you guys?
Oh.
Or is it too
Krasher,
late?
what will you be doing?
Might be too late.
I might do some just because I haven't done any all week. I feel like I'm really out of practice. So
you wait until now to practice, Krasher?
Well, I figured I would just go into these cold, just the way the viewers want. They don't want people to practice.
I think Vorime got that memo too. He didn't practice either.
Yeah, Vorime didn't practice. I mean, he's been practicing for the last year.
That's true. Well, I had a monster stream earlier today. It was a super secret racing tactics stream, which nobody attended.
No one watched. So don't worry.
No one watched. So I'm pretty streamed out right now, but I need a stream to watch.
It sounds like I should do it then.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the Demeter showing was pretty poor, so maybe I'll do some Demeter runs. See if I can get a sub 9. It's very, very dependent on what boons I get. But...
Can I say something? I love listening to Krasher talk because it sounds like he always has a spoonful of peanut butter in his mouth, kind of. And it just brings a really big smile to my face.
How do you know I don't?
That's his secret. That's his strategy. Always got a spoonful.
That's why I got so distracted. I just got to put a spoonful in my mouth every couple minutes.
There you go. The peanut butter coming through there just a little bit more. Well, we're finishing up on the stream here, folks. I want to just congratulate everyone again and thank everyone for being involved. We're going to be running another racing stream in a fortnight's time. So it'll be same bat time, same bat channel. That being, I believe, 7 p.m. EDT. And that'll be in a fortnight's time. Please check out the Reddit thread for details on that. I'll update that soon. And I'll be looking to put these VODs will be watchable for anyone that missed the race. I'll be looking to put those VODs and convert them into YouTube. Maybe Mr. Haelian or someone can help me with that a bit later. And yeah, next week next fortnight we've got new competitors coming in for the other side of the bracket. So this is an 8-player knockout tournament, and it is single elimination. So one and done, son. If you didn't make it through, maybe Hermes Cup 2, and we'll definitely be running more Hermes Cup after this. When we do run another Hermes Cup, though, it's going to be probably different settings, right? We'll probably be thinking, I don't know, we'll make him do something a little bit more challenging. We'll put on some, disgusting heat options. We'll force some crappy mirror packs, And you can bet your butts I'll be choosing some juicy weapon and aspect combos.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. I just want to do a little bit of stuff on the side before we close, but let's do some shout-outs. Wrist, did you want to plug anything and give anyone shout-outs?
Yeah. If you want to watch the second best Hades streamer, you can go to my Twitch channel at www.twitch.tv/Wriste13. I have a YouTube as well, but I don't know how to say it, so just find the link on the stream.
No worries. I'm just going to try and bring up the bracket here just so people can see. Sorry, did you just mispronounce your own name out of interest? Did you say Wriste? Or is that actually... are we all wrong?
It's everyone is right.
Okay.
I like to think of it.
Thank you.
That's good.
That's nice to know. So just before we roll on to Krasher, etc., doing shout outs and plugs, I'm just bringing up the... this is the brackets now, as you can see. I'm yet to put in the results because I've been busy, you might have noticed. Sorry, what was that? Oh, sorry if that's a bit small. But yeah, we've got Ellomenop and Vorime was in race 1 earlier today. Obviously Krasher and Wrist in race 2. So they'll go on to race number 5 here, which will be Wrist versus Vorime later. So that'll be a juicy, juicy fight.
Yeah. Wrist, how do you feel about facing up against Vorime here, the speed dream?
I just have to hope that he leaves his cream at home.
I think you should go all in on the memes on your run then.
Oh, I don't think we can have Wrist on this stream anymore, Jerds.
You can't get rid of me. I'm here forever.
That's going to be exciting.
Sorry, I've been muted all that time.
That looks good now.
Yeah, so we've got Amber versus the real Museus coming up. That'll be next fortnight. A couple of speedrunners within the community there, well established. You can see their runs online. Amber, interestingly enough, also training for Summer Games Done Quick coming up, representing for Mario Kart 8. So a multi-talented gamer there. Very, very cool. And we've got the second race will be 2 races to be announced. So you'll find out who that is soon. The invites have been sent out. We're just going to confirm that. If you're interested in racing in the future, let us know. Please send me a message via Discord. Of course, it'll be someone that that streams is going to be prioritized because we need to be able to capture your video via your stream to put you on race. But also we want to really encourage community streamers, people involved with Hades in general, to be racers. And obviously, you know, some sort of element of talent would be helpful too if you're planning to race. Mr. Krashercorr, where can we find you?
Didn't forget.
I did not forget. Where can we find you, Mr. Krasher?
You can find me making attempts at getting out of Tartarus at twitch.tv/Krashercorr.
Are you sure it's not twitch.television actually, Krasher?
Like yeah, I heard it was that.
Twitch.television/Wriste13 is probably where actually you'll find me the most.
Yeah, because Wrist points to you when he's offline, and he's always offline. Mr. Haelian, good sir, great to have you. You're looking good. I'll wear a suit next time. My man, when can we see you and where?
No, gosh, I don't know, Jerds. I stream at random times. You can find me, you know the place, twitch.tv/Haelian. You guys know where. I'll let you know next time I'm going to stream, but I can't tell you quite yet. It's a secret.
Okay, all right. And what are you working on in terms of, you know, records and speedruns?
Oh. I I wasn't really working on anything to be honest, Jerds. I was kind of just skating along, hoping that Vorime didn't start dedicating more time toward it right now.
All right. Well, I do really envisage that speedrun leaderboard for all categories to sort of mix up over the next couple of weeks before the next one. So maybe I'll throw it up on screen and we can talk a little bit about that before we get into the races.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
All right.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that any heat percent time. Look at it.
Yeah.
Jerds, where can we find you?
Thanks for asking. You can find me doing this and now, and for every Hermes Cup probably into the future, or at least for the short term. Jerds_AU on Twitch. I do have Twitter, Jerdsy, but I never really use it, but you're welcome to follow anyway. I have a YouTube video, which is just Jerds. YouTube videos, sorry. You can see some of my older speedruns and stuff on there. But more importantly, you'll be able to see some of these racing VODs, which I'll upload soon. You can find me on Reddit, just randomly modding, and also in Hades Speedruns. So I'm around, but probably more of a background guy. Having said that, I probably should step up and put up a speedrun. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's go. Come on. Let's go, Jerds. We can't have this anymore.
Let's go.
Do it.
All right, I'll do something. Maybe high.
Yeah, we can't have the guy hosting this not be on one of the leaderboards.
All right. Well, getting on a leaderboard is easy because any time qualifies at this point.
Last place is still open,
Yes.
Jerds.
Yes, thank you. I might take it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll aim for 52 heat run and take your highest heat record. We'll see. Because there is a way to cheese it with Chaos Shield. No one's done Chaos Shield yet. What?
Yeah, I know. That's like a new weapon I heard. Never
What's Chaos Shield?
tried it.
Yeah, it might be too weak. We'll see. But I'll definitely experiment with it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Good to see you all. Many viewers coming in. And any feedback, please send through messages. Be sure to follow these folks on Twitch and all their socials. And for now, I think we'll finish it off there. Hades Racing out. See you for the next Hermes Cup. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.